Oh sevens, everyone. Hello, oh sevens.
Oh, my name's above me. It's confusing.
Yeah.
Strange.
Oh, I changed it.
It has.
Why?
Good evening, everybody.
Did I change it?
Good evening. What's wrong with a little bit of a change now and again?
I need
There you go.
around there.
You feel,
Oh,
you
didn't
feel,
have to change it back.
you feel less weird. It does feel weird, actually.
It was just unusual. We're so used to seeing it underneath.
Yeah, but I think it's because I've moved the
folks,
box.
I've got my PG tips. We're all getting there. It's good.
There we go.
We're a little bit low on volume.
Yeah, turn us up a little
Volume? Oh,
If you
okay.
can turn us up a little bit.
Hang on. Let me just check. Talk
Or
again?
We can turn ourselves up. It's all up to you. Let's see how it goes.
Talk.
Welcome to
Hello.
episode 59.
How are they doing? Are they better live, guys?
Is this
Good?
better, Burger?
I can turn me down.
It certainly beats
And they are... yes?
Britizencon
Okay.
content. He said it's fine. It's all good.
Yeah, good.
Noise.
Good. Good.
Good to go.
Got all that
Oh.
paint and madness. Did he get any on the actual walls, or was it just you?
A little bit. A little bit is on the wall. A little bit is on the wall. Not a...
The rest is on your wrist and elbow.
Yeah, yeah. There's a bit. I obviously missed a spot clearly in the cleaning process.
A spot. You missed your whole body
Yeah.
from cleaning.
Oh god. So you're gonna have to bear with me a second because I just had a massive fight with my missus like 3 seconds before we came on the stream. So just
You
give
have
me
to
2
clean
seconds.
up the body.
I'm a little bit out. So yeah. Anyway, what was I going to say? So yes, welcome. These two here, these
Not
two
that.
gents. Yeah, not that, but anyway, whatever. These two gents have been at Britizencon. Woo!
Yeah.
And they're back now. How was the hangovers?
All the Britizencon.
Almost none basically. No hangover. No.
Yeah, we went out on the Friday night, as we always do, for the Bar Citizen. And we was out till, I don't know, but I think I was end up talking to Mac until 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what time we actually got back to the rooms.
Yeah, 1:30 or so. I
Yeah.
think it was.
Yeah, so we was out quite late. You got back a little bit earlier because your fucking taxi took you. No, you were in my taxi. The other taxi pulled away. So we all did Uber the taxis together at the end of the night, and the fucker bastard, my one was 2 minutes away, and Max was 6 minutes, and then he just said, "Nah, I'm cancelling on you." And then the next one was like 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good, and yeah, no hangover. So this time we actually got up the next day with good time. So we were told that we're not allowed there until 9 o'clock in the morning. So you know, who are we to disobey orders? So we had a bit of a lay-in and got up at like 8 or something rather than earlier than last time. And we were already outside reception in the Premier Inn to go there. And well, it turns out that Uber didn't want to come and pick us up for another 26 minutes. So while we were early, we ended up being late to the venue, which, yeah, never mind.
Miserable never arrives.
Exactly.
Or is not
Early.
He
Yeah.
arrives when he.
I do, to be honest though, we do arrive when we intend to.
Yeah.
It's not like, no, we're going to get here at 9. No. I think that's what happened last year's Britizencon. It was like, you were supposed to be earlier. It's like, no, we're supposed to be here when we're here. And we get it set up in time. So don't you panic. And as usual, we did actually get, so the night before, I did set up the UI and stuff for the stream. The stream PC, however, refused to actually cooperate, and then on top of that, we did have quite a lot of technical issues with the Britizencon live stream, which was disappointing, shall we say, to the least.
Yeah, like what? Okay, here's my thing. Okay, so it's been 2 years since I was there, and 2017. What we had 2000.
Yeah.
2017. I was there, and you know it was dodge, but like the venue did get streamed. People were able to hear you know, the actual venue. The dogfighting was streamed live, the final. You know, maybe only one of the screens was filmed, and it was filmed looked like from a camera, handheld camera that was kind of like blurry and shit, which I found the other day and I clipped, which was brilliant for the memories. But, you know, that you did actually, you know, so the dogfight final was streamed live, and then, you know, this time, like visually, everything looked like up-spec'd, like when you guys were doing the interview miking again, it was as good as last year. Except in my opinion,
like in the cupboard.
Yeah, but still, it had a kind of a cute kind of quality, like a kind of wingman's hat. Like, I kind of liked it. I thought it looked fan run.
And the spliced together cameras.
Yeah, the spliced together cameras, that was, yeah. But still, again, though, it's got a little bit of charm about it, because, you know, it has that thing that, you know, it's almost pro, but not quite. And then, but then, oh my God, like when you guys tried to, like, we all want to watch, obviously, the keynotes. You know, that's kind of one of the things we all want to watch as well. We're not there. We want to see the keynotes. And like, you missed the first one. Then you got, which was brilliant. Then you got JDR on, talked for ages, which was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. But then the next talk was the same people that you guys had just had on. So then they obviously repeat quite a lot of what they said. But then the audio was terrible. Like, it was worse than one of our podcasts sometimes.
Wasn't it like JRDF's the one that the audio was terrible on?
Yeah, it was like you had literally Morse code going, and then Mac, bless his heart, was left. It's because Mac was left on his own, and we had a spy. We had a spy watching the French stream, and they were commenting because they were watching the French one, and they were going, "Oh, Max getting a beer. Yeah, Max just left. He's just had enough. He leaves. He left. I think he looked at it for a bit and kind of like. But the thing was, we had a little bit of sound, and then either someone did something, but then the sound went to pretty much 0.01% of nothing. But then what we did have was click, 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 like this buzzing, annoying, like kind of like just constant sound. So anyway, but to be fair again, so that was the second was we've already missed. In theory, there was two of the presentations down where we hadn't been able to see it. But what was great was, like, again, like I said, what you guys were doing on terms of outside of that stuff was really good and still entertaining and fun and all the things that it has been ever since that you guys have been doing it. And then you, by the time you got to the third one, I don't know, you've set up, but you managed to, I think, get some sound or whatever was going on, so we could actually then hear, and then instantly it was like, boom, here we go, really good. And there was some really good topics, conversations. You and Brian Chambers had a fantastic little moment yet again with Brian. I think last time we had one with Aaron, and this time it was a really good, or Aaron was on one when I was there. And you guys had a great interview, some really hard questions that were thrown at him. Mac kept diving in front of him, and I wanted to strangle him. I was like, Mac, what are you doing? Let Brian answer the question. Stop answering it for him. Strangle you, Ryan. He doesn't need you to protect him. Stop it. Stop protecting him. He's got some hard questions. He's perfectly capable. And so that was making me laugh. That was me, because you were asking, Miz was asking like you were asking some of the chat questions and some of your own questions, and it was really good. It was so good. That was a good interview.
The difference being is there's trolley questions, which a few of them. I mean, so people in chat on the day, if I didn't ask you questions, we can't ask every single question that's thrown at us. We just don't have the time. But you have to pick up what's right. And secondly, there are some questions there's no point me asking, and it's not because I'm too afraid to ask or too scared at the devs. Because you'll know that if you actually watch the interview, and I'll try and clip it later and see if we can save like the highlight of it, because I think it was actually a good interview with Brian.
Oh, I've got some clips. I'm going to bring them up.
I asked questions that I thought were going to get a decent answer, because at the end of the day, like, I know, like, Mandus, one of your questions was something like, why has Art Court got a seam? Those sort of questions, it's
it's fine.
I know we're joking and fucking about, but it's like there's no point me asking him, because you want him, like, if you ask him good questions, he'll come back on. You ask stupid ones, and you know the answer already. You know,
you could ask that question.
First iteration,
I know.
It's first iteration, and we keep working on it. And there's a lot of questions that come. You know, as always, CIG have already told us don't bother asking when and where questions. So I kind of tried to filter through.
You asked the one I did ask, though.
A little bit more interesting and stuff, you know. So
you did ask one question that I did ask, which I was really pleased with, which was, do you think you're where? I think it was like where you are supposed to be right now in terms of the timeline and stuff. Yeah. So you did ask him that question, and that was interesting to hear him kind of respond to that one.
Good, because it wasn't a when and where, but it was a good question. You know, we've like I didn't mention, but like a few years back, we interviewed Brian, and one of the things we talked a lot about was the software and the fact that they were working on tools and stuff to make things quicker and better. And like, you know, we've had the discussions before on how is it going to take like a month per planet, and if that's the case, we're never going to get it out, type of thing. And so I thought it was quite a good question to ask and see whether he thought that they were on target for where they expected to be, and especially we've talked about it on the podcast as well. It's like, you know, is this where they want to be in 7 years? Do they think that they should have been further along? So yeah, it was an interesting question to ask.
Wait there. I've got a little clip video, so let me just bring the video in because I've got a little clip of it. So let me just see if, because you know we're talking about. Let me get the.
You can't even see that splicing almost where I mix the cameras. Just genius.
Oh god, the audio is fucking atrocious. Hang on, let me see if I can boost the audio a little bit. Hang on. Let's see if we can boost this up a bit. Try this now.
Pirate Swarm one-handed with a freelancer missed first iteration and things get
Oh,
changed.
hang on. That's the wrong one. That was the wrong one. Which one was that one? Aim assist. Oh, that should have been it. Rabbit Doggo.
First iteration and
I did
things
also
get
ask him
changed, but
about
like I've
aim
done
assist.
Vandal Swarm and Pirate Swarm.
Is it all aim assist? Hang on, let me just check if I've got them right. Sorry, guys.
People in the chat hated the aim assist.
Oh yeah, this is aim assist. So basically, this is aim assist. We'll come back to aim assist later. Sorry, we did it. There is. I thought I did a clip or something. I'd done it. It was just aim assist. Sorry.
Same one twice. Yeah.
I think I did the same one twice.
So, I think his answer was. I mean, you're probably better off clipping it and watching it, but I think it went along the lines of like he's reasonably happy that where they are. He said that they've obviously definitely had things that have set them back, and there's things that have held them up that's unexpected. And then I think I can't remember, it was that question that kind of led on to that they want more. They're still looking for staff, which also is another thing which will help increase output and things like that. So they're always there. I think, and I don't know if it was Mac or Chat that asked about AI, and that was another interesting question. And he was just saying that they're like crying out for AI. Developers. They said it's coming along. It's funny because he kind of answers first of all a bit like, yeah, it's coming along, and then he kind of it comes back and iterates on it a little bit more and goes into more detail, which is kind of cool. It was really, honestly, from my perspective, like listening to him talk about it. You know when someone's got a lot more they want to tell you, but they can't. They know they can't quite tell you. He was kind of like. But you can tell he's very clever, very smart. I've obviously met the man. I know. He's a man's man. Is the best way to describe it.
And always watch his eyes. You can actually see that change. The eyes, like
his little twinkle.
When I said to him,
me now,
I went, Brian,
there's a little twinkle.
Why aim assist? And his face was like.
Yeah. Oh my god. Seriously, the aim assist was brilliant because you keyed it up and then it was like, and then Mac went full on fanboy protection mode. He got a bulletproof vest over him and was like, oh yeah, we don't need to talk about aim assist. We're not going to talk. But then we did. Oh yeah, we did. Yeah. You said, oh yeah, we do. Oh hell, we do. And so you did, and then that was where we got. So we've got like, I think we got like. A little clip here.
Mac
I think let me
just stop that one. I was like,
yeah.
If he doesn't want to talk about it, he won't. But yeah.
So you talked about it. I'll bring it up. I think, like I said, I think this one will work. So we've got the audio. So there's a couple of quick videos here from.
Like I've done Vandal Swarm and Pirate Iteration and things.
So here we go. Right, because you were talking basically, you keyed it off pretty much talking about Vandal Swarm and like your experience, which I thought was really good to key it up with.
First iteration and things get changed, but like I've done Vandal Swarm and Pirate Swarm one-handed with a freelancer miss without doing anything other than just spinning around and shooting, and it's killing everything. And it's like, well, that level of easiness probably shouldn't be available. I mean,
you were like
new players. Wanting to hit stuff, but I don't know, normally in games you kind of get introduced to low-level mobs or things like that, which would get you practicing how to shoot or be better at combat.
He agreed, like you see, is like agree, like yeah.
It's like, he's forming an answer right now.
If it's going to be jobs for everybody and you're hiring people, you're going to want people that are good at combat.
Of course.
And then
and he was like, I could tell like straight. You know when like I could watch him when he was saying stuff and he was like agreeing and stuff, which I thought was really good.
You've got people that aren't very good can go against other people that aren't very good, and if you meet someone that's more skilled, then you've got the option to turn around and run. And you don't fight people that are better than you. I mean, that was always going to be my plan.
So you have a good point.
Talking of AI, is there anything you can say how?
And then talking about AI.
The whole.
And so then they went on, then Max started, obviously wanted to move away from this conversation. He's gone all defensive, worried, concerned, doesn't want to upset Brian, worried the developer's never going to come back and answer a question again. But then this happened. But then this is what he picked up. He's watching chat. Like, he's one eyes with you, but he was interested. You could see straight away with chat.
It was partly because his first, that was actually a later part of the conversation when I mentioned about auto aim, because I actually started off just saying, I just said to him, so Brian, what about auto aim? And that's when he kind of just turned and looked at me and went like, how could you? And then Mac tried to defend it, and I said, no, we need to answer this. And his first response was, I'm going to stay neutral on this.
Yes,
and and then what he did is he kind of threw the question back at us, and he goes, but what's your opinion on aim assist? And then Mac gave his opinion, and then I gave mine, which is what you just saw then, which was like kind of my opinion of what the aim assist was. And then as we was having that conversation, he then read chat as well, like, which is part of the reason you see him kind of staring, because everybody's just in chat. You could just see, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it, I hate it.
Yeah, so, there was quite a lot of hate. A few people said like, but there was more as a result.
On his first answer to try and kind of give us a bit more information on it, because he realised that maybe just saying I'm going to remain neutral wasn't a good answer to it. So that's quite cool.
Yeah, well, like I said, like the first question as well, this was what I liked about it, though, because he recognized when he was vague. Like when we asked that question earlier about how Star Citizen, in his opinion, is progressing along and how their time versus the time they want to be versus where they are, and he kind of did a very vague, and then he was like, "That was kind of vague, wasn't it?" And we were like, "Yeah, that was fucking vague." And then he was like, and then he went back again, and then he explained more about actually, they want to do it right, and some things just take longer than they do, and they don't want to just push things out without them being correct anymore. So yeah, he answered it better the second time around, that's for sure. But anyway, let's watch this, because this is really good. There's 2 clips, because it's quite a long interview. This is probably one of the best. Well, I like this interview because it's talking about what I'm interested in, but it was good.
The aim assist.
Yeah, that's the general consensus that we tend to hear.
I do know.
I hate aim assist.
Todd, the other design.
This was fascinating.
And leads.
Where it came from.
People's feedback.
He talks about it later on.
We're not going to do, there will be things in there ultimately that players may not gravitate towards or love day one, but then they'll understand where it is in the big picture.
I mean,
right now, that is not Brian Chambers saying aim assist is there and it's solid and it's going to be in there forever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is playability is really important to Chris and Todd and the design team, and they make.
So that was that. I just want to pause it there, because I think that was really important what he said. The playability is really important to Todd and Chris and that lot. And I was like, well, what does that actually mean? Well, like, what do you think, chat? What do you guys think? When you said that?
Yeah.
Because it's ultimately, this is clearly where it's coming from. It's coming from this auto aim shit is coming from Chris, clearly, in my opinion, based on what I saw here. This clearly, I think this is actually probably not liked by quite a lot of the developers, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people within Star Citizen themselves don't like it and probably don't want it. But I think this has actually been driven by Chris and a few of the higher management people. So,
Yeah. Well, I do really think that Wally says that they are actually listening to us as the community. Well, I don't want to say they have no other choice, because there will definitely be things like Brian says right now. There will be things in game that not everybody will like, or maybe even the majority will not like. But with the aim assist, it's the amount of comments that it got, the negative comment, is maybe that big. They will revert it back or adapt to a more slimmed down version of what we have right. So yeah, I call me maybe a bit too positive, but I do believe that they are actually trying to think with us and changing their own ideas, their previous plans, and adapt it to something we like as a broader audience.
Yeah. I agree, and I think that's kind of why I also wanted to say to him, like, if it's in the game, does that mean that's it? It's in, and it was quite nice because he basically said, no, if there really is enough feedback that doesn't like it, they're not afraid to just completely scrap it and say, no, we'll take it out.
And Miz isn't talking shit, because we'll watch the rest of this, and he does say that. So it's a very positive thing. He does say that. Yeah. But more about just about the initial bit, though. Like, Miz, what do you think about what he's saying about Chris?
the playability side of
Yeah,
things, I
playability.
think that's kind of what he was hinting at, is that what you would consider playability versus what someone else would consider playability is what this is where things are coming from.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's kind of why I then went into a little bit of turning around while saying, the examples of using it for turrets and for AI, because obviously that's something that would need to be, and to make the turrets more playable, more fun, because that's what we're all suffering for a lot at the moment, is by giving them the auto aim a little bit so that it would help. It doesn't matter how much people fly their ships about crazily, the auto aim assist will kind of help the turret gameplay, and you can understand it from that point of view. But yeah, and again, I think I just said it on then about the running away if you're not good enough. There obviously does need to be, you need to be able to kill stuff a bit when you play the game. I mean, if you're going to come and play the single player, or you're going to play, you don't necessarily need to PvP with lots of people, but you do want to feel like you can actually kill something. And that's where I don't know how this game will handle it in terms of, I think, like I said there, with when you play some games, you'll have low-level mobs. So therefore, they're normally not as responsive. And I think they were doing something like that with the AI anyway, so that the AI are not as responsive. They don't necessarily hit as much. And therefore, if you're new to the game, you can go and hunt those type of AI at the start, and you will get your kills. You don't need the aim assist. And I hope that they balance it that way rather than add the aim assist to, now we can all hit. It can be balanced differently. It doesn't need that aim assist for it, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, from what the interview and some of the things they talk about, I got the impression that that's hopefully where they're going to head to. Like, he talks about big picture here. This is what Brian does say, and we'll watch the rest of it. And then there's two more. We'll watch the rest of it, and we'll pick up on a few other bits if there's anything else.
Make that of the utmost importance. So if they've played with it and realize it's too sticky, do we need to loosen it up? Wait, maybe it doesn't make sense for FPS, but it makes sense for turrets. I don't know exactly what that full scope is, right? People in the chat hated the...
Okay, so he says the full scope. He did. He clearly liked your idea, and then I think we had the second part. Let's have a look.
Right?
And is it something that if it's not working, they would take it out?
This was interesting.
I mean, we have the ability to do that, right? It's not like a rule
You're
book.
not afraid to say, we put it in.
Oh, God, no.
stay.
No. If we put something in and we realize, there's a large amount of the community that's actively playing and they really are not enjoying it, we listen to that, 100%.
And I think that's very difficult about the flight model that's just come in as well, because obviously...
So, I know I'm going to just talk about this briefly, because I know that there's going to be, as always, there's what everyone grumbles and everyone says, there's the vocal minority or the vocal majority or all that bullshit. And that always kind of upsets me, because we don't really have a way of kind of like finding out who the unvocal group is, because it's like, well, they're not vocal, so why the fuck? How come they're suddenly the majority? Do you know what I mean? Maybe they could be the minority. It's like, we don't know how many people play the game consistently. Or they don't give us the information to see how many people are potentially active on servers. We just have general vague ideas of how many people maybe are watching on streams, maybe how many people we kind of go, there seems to be loads of people in the servers at the moment. That's where you it's all based on feeling and how many numbers and stuff. There's no actual hardcore data, which for me, based on what I saw on the ATV with that guy who's done all the new updates so we can see how good our performance our computer is, I'm like, couldn't they do that for us to be able to see how many people are active and playing the game, so we can see where people are playing, from which states, which parts of the world, how many people are playing in America versus how many people are playing in Europe, or what times? Wouldn't that be kind of cool to be able to know as well, that kind of information?
We haven't got it, but from what Brian was saying, it did sound a little bit like they have that.
I know,
because
they don't show us that.
Things he was saying, it was that they were monitoring it, and they were having weekly meetings on the feedback and taking that sort of stuff, taking that sort of information out. So it was, I thought it was interesting, kind of, that they've got those stats, and it would be nice if we could open it up and see those stats. But I don't think that's all they take into account when they're trying to look at people's feedback.
Oh, by the way, Anton, this isn't the full video. I made clips. So I went into the Britizencon videos. I pulled out a few highlighted pieces that I thought were really, really good from the interviews. Yo, what's up, Mario Sevens, buddy? Thanks for the and also for Zaps as well for the thing. For anyone that's coming in, welcome to the Asylum for the first time. We're just going over a few clips and some of the key kind of like little points that I saw, where Brian was just talking about aim assist, which I thought was a fantastic interview that he had with Miserable and Supermac at Britizencon, where Brian basically talks about aim assist, why it's in. We asked him some, the chat and Miz asked some pretty hard asking questions on it, and so it was really interesting to hear Brian's kind of like view on it. He obviously saw chat wasn't really a fan of it, so it was kind of interesting to hear him talk. So we're just watching a couple of the clips and stuff, but yeah, Anton, don't worry, it's not the whole thing. Go and check out Britizencon when the guys have got the YouTube videos up and running. Go watch all the interviews. It's a great hopefully they'll do the
on the VOD anyways, so
exactly. All the panel stuff will be will be on YouTube soon, I believe. Anton, right? Anton is the guy. He started it. He basically organizes it and stuff. So go check out Britizencon. I think we got a link to it. If not, we feel free to chuck it in channel. Anton,
in the bot, I would have thought.
Yeah, I think so. We just exclamation Britizencon. Go check it out. It's well worth it because there was some really, really good stuff they talked about. I think they talked about server meshing on one of the panels as well, didn't they?
Yeah,
I think it was which is huge at the moment.
Panels, so I don't know.
Yeah, they did. It's because people were talking about it. So there's a big, huge thing on server meshing at the moment, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the show. Maya was there doing a great job. By the way, Maya, well done. I thought your emceeing was excellent. Really, really good job, dude. So very good, very, very good. So anyway, so we're just quickly watching this about aim assist. I think it's probably about to finish now anyway.
It wasn't just the flight model with all this,
right?
And is it something that if it's not working, they would...
This was interesting, like I said.
Possibly.
They will take things out.
We have the ability to do that, right? It's not like a rule book.
You're not afraid to say, oh, we put it in,
oh, God,
it's got to stay.
No. If we put something in and we realize, there's a large amount of the community that's actively playing and they really are not enjoying it, we listen to that, 100%.
And I think that's very difficult about the flight model that's just come in as well, because obviously you've got...
Yeah, because you then went on, which I thought was really good. And like I said, go watch it. Go up onto the Britizencon Twitch, www.twitch/ I think it's Britizencon. Go check out the vlog, and there'll be a 5-hour one there. If Chris keeps it up, you can go check it out, scroll through, and you can find this interview in the whole, and you can watch this whole interview. I think it's fairly long, actually. I think it was quite a good chat.
We only managed to get, because of all the issues we were having in the end, I think we only managed to get 2 devs on, which was Brian and Ulf, but they were both pretty good, and both the Brian interview was definitely a longer one for sure.
Yeah, and so and you went on after this. Yeah, asked and talked about oh god, what was it again? Sorry, hang on, I just got to remind myself.
One of the things I asked about was the basically the current state of the game and whether we are playing it as, or whether they intended it for us to be playing it as a alpha in terms of when they first released assets to us in the game. We started off with just a hangar, and people just literally, it wasn't not a game, you can't call that a game. We would just log in, you could walk around your hangar, you could see your ship, and it was all just, the fun of it was just going and seeing some of the stuff that you backed and what you actually had. And then obviously things, as times progressed, things have changed, and we are now getting game loops and stations and things that are flying, especially with the persistent use universe and everything. And so I asked him whether because we get a lot of, obviously we like to hint at the negative sometimes and hint at the positive stuff when it happens and drops on the servers. And a lot of the time when you're negative, you do get the kind of responses, well, it's not a game, you shouldn't be playing it at the moment, and it's just a way to show off new stuff. So I kind of asked him, is it their intention for us to be playing it as a game, or is it just meant to be, oh, here's some new tech, go and take a look? And I thought that was just an interesting to see his take on that. And he basically said that that it's a bit of both. At the end of the day, he said that they will put new tech in as and when they need to, and but they do also want us to be playing it and playing the loops and testing those sort of features as well. So yeah, I thought it was quite an interesting sort of response to it. Yeah.
Anton also just briefly, he was saying in chat as well that the French also spoken dual languages, so there'll be English and French there. So again, potentially some good tidbits. Whenever they were doing it, it just seemed to be French. Unfortunately, as much as my parents speak French, I don't. So sadly, I couldn't understand. So yeah, I wasn't able to stick it out for too long. And Miz and Mac were. I just wanted to get back and watch those plonkers as much as possible.
Sounds about right.
They always entertain me, but yeah, it was. Like I said, honestly, it was really cool. Like I really enjoyed this interview. Like I said, sometimes, like I said, the questions can be a bit too formulated. Like and either they know the questions are coming, or it's like you said, it's usually questions which are just like, oh my god, seriously, you've had all the time in the world. I think it was one guy asked a question, and I was like, seriously, you're
10 times.
just sat there, just going. All this time to ask a question, and it was the most ridiculous. It was like the most ridiculous question. Like it was like trying to be funny, And I'm like,
Switch in the back.
be funny in person. Like you can talk to them afterwards in person. Honestly, they're not going to run away. This is the best thing about this event. By the way, for anyone, if you want to go to a great event, this for me is the greatest event because you're going to get to meet probably some of the key developers, especially for Squadron 42, and they will be lingering around, and you don't know. Sometimes you could just bump into
Probably
somebody
more so
and chat to them.
Britizencon, I'd say as well, because in
I'd
Britizencon
say
a lot
so.
of them have tasks and things to do, and it's also a bigger venue. Whereas here, they're just here as guests, and most of them just mingle around and have a look what's going on.
Yeah.
You get the few odd on the panel, but the rest of them are just there to enjoy it, and they chat to everybody. Plus, on the Friday night, they're not doing anything. They're just literally coming to the pub, drinking and telling you all their secrets. But we didn't say that.
Oh, they're very
So they tell you everything.
Yeah,
It's true. Well, I mean, like Matt Lightfoot, we were talking about in chat. Like I started talking to him when I was there, not this time, but not even the last time, but the previous time. He had just started. He was only like a couple of weeks in, and I was just chatting with him. I had no idea he was a developer. For starters, I had no idea. Chatting away. That was a different time. I was very, very happy. Minimal salt, so I think he was very happy to chat. I was all pumped and excited, so there was no trying to choke him out or anything about flight models or aim assists or whatever's going on, or point me in the direction of the person that's ruined this game right now, so I can go over there, give them a piece of my mind. No, I would never do that. But no, definitely go.
I mean,
seriously, they need people to go. Like if you're in the UK and you're, if you can go, just get in the car and go. I had to make a choice this year, which was very hard decision, but I had to make the sacrifice this year for the other event, Britizencon. Sorry, it literally had to lay itself down so that I could go to the other one. It was one of those with the wife. It was like, you can only go to one. Okay, this will guarantee the other one.
Until she says no on that one.
Yeah.
It's just bigger though, because will you get?
Will I get what? Sorry.
I mean, Bock and Starburger and many others also came over from abroad, and
Yeah.
trust me, when Brexit happens, it's definitely abroad. Actually, you were
It
closer
didn't happen.
you were closer than I was, but yeah.
True.
So what did you think, and would you say it was worth the trip?
For me, it really felt like a little mini Britizencon. And that definitely had to do with seeing all the devs walking around. They were quite visible with bloody lovely jackets they all were wearing with the embroidered logos on it. Awesome. We need that. But I liked the panels. I liked you guys, of course. And all the rest of the little stands that were there. Actually, I didn't see anything yet from your stream and the French stream. I saw the French guys interviewing Mickey, so that would be in English, right? So
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun to watch that back. But yeah, even if you didn't follow all the panels, there was another room with the bar, and most of the desks were just standing there. So you just hopped onto a table or in front of the table, and I started talking. I spent a lot of time with Luke Perry, for instance, and Ray Rucraft with his new new colleague who started at CIG 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
They're the ones to get after, the new ones, the ones that don't have a clue. You can just get straight in there, usually with a few questions.
It's like I'm allowed to say this, aren't I? Yes, when you're at Britizencon, anything is possible. You can say it all. It's all fine. You signed a blanket thing that says you can tell us everything, including when Citizencon is.
Have you signed that contract that says NDA just yet? You know, it's like that kind of thing. Where's that paper? Have you signed it yet? No. Okay, let's go. Yeah, there's always new. That's the thing, is there is always new people there, and that's always a good thing. I always say it's like if you go to like a housing estate or whatever, usually, and you can see people building and doing construction and doing things, that usually means it's a progressive, it's improvement area, it's up and coming, all that kind of stuff. It's the same with Star Citizen. They're always hiring, they're always trying to go after new things, they're always trying to do things, which I think is a positive thing. There's clearly a positive language of progression and trying to get this shit done. That's the thing. Yeah. So for all the I've had a bit of time to think over the last couple of weeks, look at everything. I get it very, like, anyone knows me, I'm a very emotional. I wear my heart on my sleeve when it comes to kind of like how I feel about Star Citizen. I'm invested heavily in it, like many people. I love it, passionate. I spent ages playing it and getting good at certain aspects of it. So for me, I get a little bit hot under the collar when certain things don't work. But that being said, I've gone into a few streams, chatted to some old colleagues and stuff who old org members, and they've like mellowed me. We've had some good chats, and I need to give 3.5 clearly another shot, which I will do. And but I think I've definitely narrowed it down to one thing I really definitely dislike, and it is the aim assist. I know people said to me, and they said, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't work very well." I keep saying to them, the aim assist for me, it's the fundamentals of what it stands for. I think is the bit that I don't like. It kind of like potentially can break and opens up the avenue to allow so many other features that I think would be poor choices for the game. I want them to really stick to skill, and you start adding aim assist and all this stuff. It no longer becomes the Dark Soul, the kind of the progression formula that we wanted. So, but that being said, everything else of the game seems to be pretty cool. A lot of people are telling me that the flight, I flew the flight model itself directly. It's not that bad. I mean, I still want a bit more movement. I do think that the strafing up and down and sideways could be a little bit improved, just to add a little bit more fun back into it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to go too full circle jerky, but I think they could probably just dial in a little bit, or give us the option to upgrade the components. Yeah, no fun allowed. But even if they allowed me the ability to buy slightly better thrusters and stuff, and maybe make them so they're only fitted for like certain ships, maybe like you could do some of the combat ships, so that way then you can buff ships that are intended to have better movement. So maybe some of the light fighters can get a little buff, and then maybe the you could kind of grade it a little bit. You know what I mean? Just to kind of give that performance boost with a financial gain too. So again, it gives you a reason to play the game, gives you gameplay, you work harder, you get the money, you have the components, you get the buff for your shit for a bit, and you go, holy fuck, this is awesome. Then you die, then you have to go buy it again, and don't put it on a ship. Don't give anybody the ability to LTI it, because you're ruining it every time you do that. Every time CIG gives you a free component with an LTI, they're ruining their own game. They must stop doing that. I hate to say it, but they really must stop doing it, because it's long term, it's a disaster. They must refrain from doing that. And because they do it as like an enticement, because they know they're going to make some money, but they keep damaging their game, in my opinion. And the more they do that. Anyway, sorry, I've talked enough. You guys talk.
Yeah, nothing is set in stone, man. Nothing.
Yeah,
you heard it.
As Brian says.
For sure.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I discussed with Brian as well, is the fact that with all the feedback, and that, like we just discussed a little bit earlier, and how important it is, because like we said, it's always people say the loud minority are the ones that are shouting and saying they don't like it, and so they've had this feedback form, which I said as to Brian, and he said as much, is that it's important that if you're enjoying it and you like it, you also give that feedback, and you tell them why you like it, what bits you do like and what bits you don't like. But the other thing as well is that the fact that it was very difficult to give feedback on the flight model, because they dropped so many things at once. And as I was saying to Brian, I said people are saying they don't like the flight model, and it's not necessarily the flight model, because people claim that the aim assist is part of the flight model. Then we had overheating issues, which we then had like the aiming issues and the pip issues and the auto assist, and all of a sudden it's like, and in the end it's just easier for people to go, I just don't like this. And to kind of push it to one side, than to say, well, actually, no, the flight model may well be good, but I can't do it because of X, Y, or Z reason. And that's the problem. It's kind of getting pushed into one.
In my opinion, the flight model can be split in two ways, and it's only the second part that needs to be. And that's what I said. Just the people, the normal pilot who are doing trading, mining, that sort of stuff, go with their ship from A to B. They will have already a magnificent flight model.
Mm.
Nothing wrong with it. But for like Madness, for combat, it's just not enough. They need to tweak it. And that's going to be just changing the numbers overall and get good results back from the actual PvPer.
I think so. But the thing is there is so much that needs to be added to the game. We still don't have server meshing. They still don't have clients. They still don't have their side of OCS working properly. They still have to do. There's still many more just gameplay mechanics, just generally, that need to be added into the game. We don't know how those mechanics will affect, coding, or it's just there's just so much. There's so much. So I watched ATC. I could have I literally smacked myself in the face because I had Whitesnake and I had Zimmy's approval. They were both to come onto this show, and because I was wallowing in a pit of despair because of the 3.5 model, I've never arranged it, but put it this way, I'm going to have some combat pilots together and we're going to have a big discussion about roundtable around the flight model and stuff. And I'm just kicking. But anyways, Twerk had them on, or Mike Rod, or whatever he wants to be called these days, had them on for his ATC, and they were basically talking about the flight model, and they were saying the same thing, in terms of like the component parts, and they're talking about how it's really difficult you can't fix this now with so many broken pieces. You know what I mean? It's like we can't truly give them a real feedback. We can give them a bit of feedback and say what we like, what we don't like, what do we like. I always say you can talk about what you liked previously. Like, I like the way this worked. I like the way that this felt and this moved, or the speed of this, the speed of that. You give them a generalization, but ultimately there's so many more things, bigger picture, like Brian said in the interview, that Chris said, we do have to sometimes, we do have to rein it back a little bit and do think, okay, they have a vision of what they're trying to achieve. I just get worried that perhaps they're so caught up with the end vision, they're not necessarily realizing what they've had in front of them is so good that they're going to throw it away. That's my worry. That's always what I'm at. That's why I get so vocal sometimes about stuff. It's like, no, hang on, whoa, Chris, see what you got now? It's fucking good, okay? Like, it was really good, and you're about to throw it away, and what you've got at the end, even though you think it's going to be better, could be a part of shit. And then you just please like put like a thumbstick on it, put a note on it, so you could potentially go back to it, so you don't lose it. That's the way I look at it. And then let's go to your vision and let's see what that is. Let's see what that looks like. That could be amazing. And I could stand here and go, dude, you're fucking a legend. I love you. You're the best thing since sliced bread. But as long as I want to know, we got a post-it sticker on what was good.
Bread's not that good.
Well, it depends what bread you like. There's some good sliced bread out there. There's a very good
English
sliced bread.
breakfast. That's what's going to be.
All English with a nice black pudding.
Wow. So, okay, Karen, Britizencon. What? So, did you guys get any good gossip? Was there any? Like, Anton, feel free, by the way, to throw in anything if you found any sweet little like tidbits that you want to share, that you can share, like that we didn't think about, or like, is anything that surprised you, or anyone that's in chat that was at Britizencon that they found something new out, or they learned something cool. Like, feel free to chuck it in chat. We'll shout it out. It's all good because these things don't happen all the time. We've got a couple of months, got many months until probably the next one for CitizenCon. Maybe Are they doing Gamescom this year? They are, aren't they?
Don't think so.
Not Gamescom. What's the other? Is it Gamescom? No, sorry. What's it called?
I don't think they're doing Gamescom. There's
It is
obviously
Gamescom.
Citizencon, but they're not doing Gamescom. No, not. I don't think so.
We've been into Valhalla. That was also the. We can say this right. You just gave me the.
Can we?
Can we? I
I
don't know.
don't know what you're talking about.
Your model that you've painted. I've seen them.
Yes, Valhalla. I know what you're talking about. No,
Thursday,
sorry, it was just like,
Valhalla. I felt like a little boy in a chocolate factory. We went to the entrance of CIG Wilmslow.
The entrance.
The entrance. It was so beautiful.
yeah.
You got to see the models, all the models on the desk.
Cameron in advance and just asked if we could go in and take a look and everything. So we took a small group of us. And we did try to go deeper, but they said no, just in the entrance. But that's where all the good stuff is. So yeah. So yeah, I took them and showed them all the painted models and the Raven up high as well in its position. That's cool.
Yeah.
You should have
I
just done the
didn't
old
like
where's
getting
the
out to the toilet.
you should have gone where's the toilet and then just kind of like then deviated when they weren't paying attention. Way from the top of the stairs or something. I don't know what the building's
come
like.
Catch me.
Running through the building, taking photos. I haven't signed an NDA. Never to be ever allowed back again.
Immediately, the distractions get someone to just take their top off and run one way while the rest of the group just go upstairs and have a look. Yeah, it's fine. Woo. We're in the building. But no, it was so I'd obviously delivered the Hunter, but I hadn't seen it in its glass case as well, so it's quite nice to see now all the final models in their position. And the Hunter looks tiny compared to that Javelin still, even though it's supposed to be the kind of like the same length. It's still it still looked tiny in there, but it looked really good. And then the Idris was just tucked around the corner there. That looks like a really small ship. Yeah. And it was funny because I was talking to Bock and Starberg about when I painted them and how, like, obviously on top of the Kraken, we did things to a certain scale, and the Cutlass was probably like this big. And then obviously these ones for the desk are a different scale. And so the Idris turned out only this big. And when I got it, it was so light. It was like a kid's toy or something. It was almost like, they sent me the wrong thing and just throw it over your shoulder. It's like, is this it? Is this really the Idris? Because like obviously to everybody else, the Idris is this big, massive ship that they can't wait to get their hands on. And I've kind of got it going, oh, is that it? Right, okay, then let's move on to the next one. So yeah, I mean the Javelin is huge, which is probably part of the reason why. And the engines on it are a beast. But yes, so I'm hopeful that they enjoyed having a little look at the models and the Raven as well, which is pretty cool.
It was really, really cool to see it. And it's just like I said, you feel like a little kid in a chocolate. See the big
and that desk is cool as well, right?
Sorry?
The desk itself, the reception desk is cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah.
They did a fantastic job of that. So it looks like the in-game desk where you can buy the ships from and that have got the gold models in. And yeah, just fantastic job they done on that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do some painting tomorrow, by the way, guys. And not just this type of painting, although I still have to do this painting because I've got to do more of it. But hopefully we'll try to get some time and I'll do the model painting. We have this bad boy to finish, which we were doing. It's blurry as shit, but anyway, we've got to finish that.
Yeah, I've got to do that. And I've also got the grey cat that I started painting at Britizencon. Oh. So we did.
Please tell me cows they're not in.
No,
they'll be like, "Where's the money? Where's the money, man?" I know I said I would, but I've had to drop a fortune on paint over the last couple of days, so I'm really it's terrifying me at the moment. But yeah, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was meant to go and paint on their stand because obviously they had a stand at Britizencon where you could go and buy the grey cats. They were giving out the freelancers, which, if you give me a moment, I'll go and grab one so you can see it because I've actually got Yellow's one. So Yellow has given me his one to paint. I need to get back in contact with him to see how he wants me to actually paint it.
Where is
he? I think he said Star Kitten. So slightly sidetracked, but yeah, Yellow and one of the volunteers were flying on whatever airline they use. Apparently the pilots were all on strike, so they couldn't get home. So I think he finally had to fly via somewhere else to get back home again or something. So yeah, that's not good for them, unfortunately. Yes, damn airstrikes are not good.
Pilots probably got the 30,000 error.
Okay, trying to take off, but he's like, no, server doesn't work. Yeah. So what was I saying anyway? So yeah, painting. Got that freelancer to paint, and also on this day I was supposed to be on JR's stall to paint. They were demonstrating the actual construction of one of their grey kit models, and I was going to go over there and paint the model as well. But because of all the issues and tech issues we had with the stream itself, I kind of had to babysit Mac. Nothing unusual there, because the stream wasn't working. So in the end, I started painting and showing off the model on stream, and people could come over and ask questions and things while I was painting it there instead. Obviously, I started out a bit late, so we didn't get to finish it. So I will be streaming either painting that one or I might use that one as a bit of a test bed because hopefully JRDF and Cowles is going to be sending me a boxed version, and what we'll do for the channel is I'll do a recording of unboxing the Grey Cat and putting it all together, and then painting that on the actual stream as well, so everybody can come and watch that if they want.
Awesome. Can't wait to do the Grey Cat as well when I have money to buy it, and Cal's is...
Oh yeah, you got the freelancer there.
I forgot.
Awesome.
I won this with the raffle and picked it up off the table, and then it broke it. It broke off, and it's actually
It's broken
fell on
free.
the ground.
It broke free. It just had to fly,
Not
baby.
appreciated.
It's a freelancer. It just had to fly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
No,
exactly.
it's,
Oh, the sound effect. That's perfect. Got to add that sound effect. Woo. Oh, cool.
Yeah, let's not talk about what you won, Starburger, please.
Starburger, dude, like seriously, that is brilliant. So Evadius, he made the picture that you have that's all signed. So if people don't know, let me see if I can bring that up. Hang on, let me just see if I've got it. Yeah, okay, here we go. So I'll bring it up on stream now. So Evadius, my ex, one of my ex all guys from UINS, and who I've basically been part of, pretty much Star Citizen, pretty much almost from day one. It feels he was probably one of the first person to kill me, I think, in Arena Commander when I first played. Anyway, he did this picture because of the lack of advertising Anton was giving to these two guys. And so he did this for fun, and so then it's obviously become a bit of a meme, which I love. That's what I love about these. That's what I love about the community. That's what I love about just everything. It's just funny. So then this has become a thing, and then they signed it. It's great. That's why I love this community so much, because it's like if you can't take the piss out of yourself and have a bit of a laugh, what the hell? There's no point. So anyway, this was the thing that he won, and treasure it with your life, sir. Frame it. Put it somewhere good, or bring it to Britizencon, Star. If you come to Britizencon, they should go everywhere. We get more signatures until it's like covered in signatures. So yeah,
look where Luke Presley signed.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah, I saw.
He says no.
So Evadius just he said what did he say? Oh, he said, yeah, I wish I had put a bit more work into it now. He says that was his response. I was like, nah, man, it's the best. Why did he sign his junk? Wow.
I think he was asked to.
Yeah.
There was no pressure.
Here we
Absolutely
have.
not.
So here's a Grey Cat I started.
Oh,
actually
that's the one you
painting.
started. Nice. Yeah.
So part of the problem was it's all glued in one piece, which makes it almost impossible to paint because you can't get the paintbrush down all the gaps and things. So, my camera's got a green screen, so it's clipping out a lot of it as well.
So basically, don't glue it together.
I'm going to see if I can. Well, yeah. So this is one of the things when I do the unboxing and the making of it, I'll kind of do a sort of semi-tutorial, depending on how you want to look at it, of just like how much to put together to paint to spray before you actually paint it. So if you have bought one of these, don't glue it all together and then paint it. Not a good idea, especially the rubber tires, because apparently this is actually missing its tires because they put the tires on and there's like a little rim around the middle of them which they clip into, and then it's very difficult to get them off, so they had to cut them off. So they're sending me some new tires for this one. But yeah, so this one I may well just do is I'm going to see if I can maybe pry some of it apart where they've glued it, and try and do it the way I would rather do it. And then we'll maybe use the unboxing one for a proper demonstration on how to do it. The other thing I got was from Starburger. Thank you very much, sir. You can't see it very well, but it was one of his patches, which is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, very nice
patch. And as Box kind of already shown it off, but yeah. So this is Yulo's Star Freelancer. I purposely broke it off the stand because impossible to paint while it's on its disc.
Yeah,
so you can kind of see this is the disc that they all got for the VIP ticket. There's Britizencon 2019 on it, and the bits that you can't see are basically his name and the limited edition number on it as well, which is pretty good.
Bit of paint, bit of glue, super glue, be good as new.
Well,
You
no,
won't even know.
like I said, I broke it off on purpose. To paint it.
But 25 out of 25.
He's got
25.
8 actually.
Huh?
Oh, you got number 25. That's pretty cool.
So who got
Nerds.
the moose juice?
Moose juice.
Nerds. What can you do without them? Okay, so we actually had it's been a pretty cool week. That's what I love about this week. It's like we've gone from pretty much nothing to talk about, and we've been talking about the same shit for freaking days, weeks, whatever. It's boring as hell. Now we actually have some new shit to talk about. Like we had Britizencon, which was great. Really enjoyed it. It kept me entertained while I was painting, and you guys obviously had a fantastic time. And I'm sure more stories and things. And what's great about these events is you build that wonderful relationship where you meet people sometimes for the first time. It really kind of like solidifies things, and you just build that wonderful community. Just gets tighter, it just does. It really does. And people just you get that, oh, you know about this and you remember this and you remember that. It is really cool.
I mean, definitely. I mean, that's one of the things Brian said is like, because we've had him and interviewed him we haven't had him. That sounded really wrong. We've interviewed him for like 4 times. He's been to every single one of the Britizencons. And we've interviewed him 4 times. He goes, I come and I get to see you guys every year for 4 years in a row. So it's like, it's the same thing. You get to start meeting the devs. They start recognizing you. You recognize them. But just talking to the community that we're so used to just seeing names float past on the chat. And it's really nice to put some faces to those names. And then it just makes the friendship and everything feel a lot more real when you get to see them and talk to people, and it's so weird. I mean, like you just said, it's a bunch of nerds, but you can all sit in the same room and you've all got something to talk about. And there are plenty of people out there that aren't very confident or suffer from anxiety and stuff like that, and not very easy at making conversation. But the beauty is that you're all meeting up, and the very thing you can talk about is space and the game, and it gives you something to talk about, even those that are not so confident.
Exactly.
Can't go wrong.
Slag off a Carrick, and those anxiety people become pitchfork crazy people that come after you with a knife, or maybe a broken. They go like that, break the beer, and they're like, "What did you say about my Carrick?" I'm like, "Okay, buddy, okay, it's coming eventually. End of the week." They go crazy. Run away. You see them at night, everyone suddenly goes, ah! No, that's fine. Cool. I can't wait to go next year. I absolutely can't wait. CitizenCon this year, I'm really excited for when eventually CIG finally comes around to announcing it. They are so, come on, please announce it. Please, I need to book some tickets, man. I need to book the time off work. The longer you leave it, the more difficult it becomes. I'm desperately need to book this shit. So come on, hurry up. And then obviously next year, I can't wait. So yeah, Britizencon next year for me, obviously it'll be my one thing a year for Star Citizen that I really go to. So hopefully I shouldn't, unless work or whatever, babies and shit like that happens again, I'll be there. So I definitely want to be back. Yeah, and hopefully I'll be back. I'll be back to try and win. I know. I don't want to. I'll save some stories for my personal stream. I'll keep it off of the air here. And then so we'll have hopefully a returning champ next year. Will come back to try and maybe play or maybe commentate. I might commentate. I was thinking I might have retired by then from PvP if it's not great. So maybe you need an old head to talk about combat, or maybe I'll got to change it up, add to the resume. So maybe I can maybe if you were interested, I'm happy to volunteer. If I'm not competing, happily commentate on the dogfighting. So right, that being said, ATV, or should I say Inside Star Citizen, which is just so freaking wrong. It's right, but it's wrong at the same time. It's one of those things. It's like clearly the marketing guy, whoever they brought on board, I think it makes more sense. Inside Star Citizen, if you're a new person, you don't know anything about the game development. Around the verse means like fucking nothing to most people who are new. I think that they probably got quite a lot of new people, a lot of old people probably waiting for things. There's a lot of new people always coming in, so Inside Star Citizen is probably a good time, especially with Squadron 42 just around the corner. In theory, I always have to kind of put in theory because it could be ages still. Who knows? I'm sure it'll be next year. So yeah, Inside Star Citizen makes sense. It makes sense.
They renamed RTV as well, didn't they?
Really?
Well, kind of said it was just Star Citizen Live. And
Yes,
then
it
said,
is Star Citizen Live.
Oh, but it's because it's the same thing, but this time it's Star Citizen Live.
I haven't
Hmm.
seen it yet.
I didn't know if that was just for when they were doing the gameplay, but it sounded like it was the new name for it.
Okay.
Name.
What does that
Mm.
mean? That we will
It
have
means
live gameplay with streamers every week, or
I don't think every week. He said that it would be because when he first said that, I was like, oh, so they're getting rid of RTV as well. And he said it's going to be the same as you. So it's going to be questions and answers and developers, and he said and some gameplay. So this first one was gameplay cop out. I mean, gameplay.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I liked it a little bit in terms of, I liked the fact that they got like a couple streamers and people to play with. I thought that was rather than just
definitely
one.
nice
It
to
was nice to see a
involve
couple
a few.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to see a
And
couple
to be
people.
honest,
It was good.
it's
Play the game.
Don't forget,
It's good.
like the RTVs and the ATVs. So part of what we complain about is like, oh, it's not, it's not what the information we want. But we have to also remember that we're not the only people watching those, and I think we kind of said before that as long as they're bringing out content, it doesn't matter necessarily what's in it, ish. But it's like if you're
some
new
content
to the
is
game
better
or
than
if
none.
you haven't played it too much. Seeing the mission playthrough was, I thought, it's actually quite a good idea. It's a good one for people that don't necessarily play. It's a good piece of information. It shows them the state of the game at the moment. I haven't actually managed to watch it all properly, so I don't know if they actually successfully got the mission to work completely.
I don't know.
So I don't think it was particularly a bad thing to show off.
It wasn't
It's
anything
one of the main
new.
features of 3.5 as well. So
Yeah, it wasn't like the way I described it. I think in chat was kind of like it's a bit like when your missus moves the furniture around and you kind of make it think that you're in a new space, but it's still all the same crap. That was kind of pretty much the way I kind of envisioned it. It was like it had like your new paint, a bit of fresh paint, but it was still like the old sign you could still see underneath it, kind of thing. It was like it was fine. It was fine. I mean, for new people, like if you're brand new to it and stuff, I think it's fine. It's cool, whatever. They do this all the time, by the way, for anyone who's been around for a while. No word of a lie. They come up with new names for the same type of product year after year.
Yeah.
Okay, this is not
it's like
new.
you're just renaming it. That doesn't change. You're
Yeah.
not bringing us something fresh. You're just literally changing the name on the tin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do agree with that. Fresti makes a good point though that the having the mission creators commentate as they were playing.
That was very good.
Idea.
Very
And
good.
that is something a little bit different to just playing it. And I do agree. I think that was actually quite nice. It was explaining why and how and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely. a good thing to watch.
100%. I think it's something we've kind of. I don't know if they've done exactly that before, but they have done it in a way. If you think about it, because they've had the creative guys on do live creations for the in the game, and that's what they do. So therefore, they're doing the kind of the same.
When we see them making the helmet or something live, that's their version of they can't obviously make a mission live, but that's their version of being able to explain the mission live as you see it in play. Because there was a little bit that I did catch when it was like saying about why the different ways, like for example, they gave you a ship for the mission or something, and because I still haven't done this mission properly, but there's like ways that they wanted to make this mission give a feel more special compared to just your average one that you're going to pick up, and it's quite interesting and good to see their thought process and how they're going to tackle these special NPCs, because you do want some form of differentiation between that and just the one that you pick up from your mobiGlas or from the job well. So yeah, I do, and they said they have more plans for making the ships more, so you go and spawn them how you usually would and things like that as well. So it's there was definitely some interesting commentary on that, I think.
Yeah, that's just some stupid thing I noticed just before the little break, because they had to do a little bit more work for 3 weeks, so they stopped ADV.
Yeah.
One of the comments of the guys were, well, we don't want to interrupt the devs because they're really concentrated at work. And then
I know.
inside the verse starts, and you see Disco Lando barging in with light, camera, 2 actors behind him.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
And then them two coming in going, what's going on?
yeah.
What's going on? It's like, shouldn't you be busy doing stuff? Because that's why we can't interview you. That was exactly my first thought. Like, I shouldn't be. That's like the saltiness of me. But it was like, wow, this is exactly why he said they weren't doing it.
I think again, it comes back to a few things. I think Zeus commented on a YouTube channel, and he did comment something. He said like, when sometimes they stop, is because they literally have nothing else to show you. It's like he's like they could be, I mean, it might not be true, but he could. I was like, a part of me is he's like, what if he's right? Like at the end of the day, what if literally they have nothing more to show, so we have to take a couple of weeks off to kind of do some pre-work so we have extra so they can be ahead of the schedule, like whiskey. When you make whiskey, you have to wait a couple of years before it's good. Maybe we have to be a couple of weeks behind them. Once we catch them up, they go, fuck, we need to stop production. No one's allowed to see anything for a few weeks whilst we get back ahead again, get ahead of ourselves again.
I had a rather nice discussion with Luke Perry about and he brought it up himself. We were basically talking about missions and that sort of stuff, replayability, and then all of a sudden he said, "Well, basically the point where we are right now is that we can't add extra big content into the game, like a new system, a couple more planets, whatever. So because they've reached their limit, and because of that, and that's what I think he was trying to say, is that they are trying to get more replayability into the game now and try to polish it up more and add some hopefully team related stuff. So actually shared rewards, shared missions, that kind of stuff, so that it will actually be worth and interesting to play now. Because we all know if you're gonna play, you're gonna get burned out much, especially with mechanics that are not working properly or missing. So I found that a very interesting comment of him, and hopefully they're at it right now so that we can have some extra incremental patches coming up. Where did Misk go?
I don't know. We're gonna get beer probably. Probably gonna get a drink. Okay, so that was the kind of the RTV or Star Citizen Live.
Yeah.
Which was fine. I mean, I think for me it was kind of like, they had like a whole 3 weeks or whatever it was off in January to come up with that. Kind of did leave me a little bit like, really? You had 3 weeks off to figure that out. That's kind of a bit like, okay, fair enough. But I'm hoping they come up with something new. I don't know about you. I'm hoping there'll be something. I'm trying to. Part of me was like racking my head, going, "What would you do? Like, if you could do a show right now?" And this goes for chat as well. If you could do a show for Star Citizen right now, behind the scenes or whatever it is, what would you want to know? What would you be interested in finding out about Star Citizen right now? Is there anything? I mean, maybe this is it. Maybe the reality is they've covered it beautiful. But is there anything you want to know more about? Is there a show out there that would be quite fun to do? I'd love to see Chris Roberts play the game live. I would love to see Chris play the game live. Did he do it before? Has he played it live on the Persistent Universe before? I would love to see that.
I don't know.
All the higher people.
No.
All of them. Tony Z, Chris, the round table, get them all, Todd Pappy, get them all to sit in and play Star Citizen live. I would pay to watch that shit. 3-hour session, because we all know you cannot have an hour because it takes them forever to jump anywhere. So we'll be like, they have to pay for 3 hours at least. So we'll pay them to play that shit. You know what I mean? We'll buy, we'll pay the subscription, whatever it is, for a month just to see that shit. Oh my God, would I pay for that? Chris
will keep playing for like 10 minutes and then he throws his gamepad through the monitor. maybe that's it. I can't hit anything. I need aim assist. Yeah.
Everyone's too good. They're all playing this game way too long compared to me. How dare they be better than me? God damn those people in the arena commander all the time getting good. It's not fair. Maybe. But we're actually talking about subscriptions, because this was something that I did come up actually. I think it was at the end of one of the things. I can't remember which one it was. If it was, it was Inside the Verse. Oh, Inside Star Citizen. Sorry, I'll get it right. Sandy said that they're changing subscriptions.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, I think we all have really violently been kind of protesting, and I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, seriously, if they've seen the numbers drop. I wouldn't be surprised if the subscription has gone like this, and I think they probably are realizing even themselves, it's like, dude, like we want to keep this shit going, and this is probably quite a good gravy train of money that's coming in. I know it is $170,000 a month or whatever it was, or 200 and something ridiculous amount of money. You know, if that starts to dwindle, and if they've got that resources going anywhere else, which they shouldn't do, but if they do, they need to bring that back up again. So clearly, I think that speaks quite a bit, in my opinion, to, hey, they're aware of this, and they're aware that we're unhappy with what we're getting for our money as subscription, and so they want to entice us, hopefully, with some better stuff. So I'm very excited to see. I wonder what it'll be. It's definitely not going to be Crocs, Miz. Don't get your hopes up. It's not going to be Star Citizen Crocs.
We will be getting Crocs one day.
No, we won't be getting Crocs.
I spoke with Brian. It's a thing. It's going to be put in there.
Please tell me he doesn't like Crocs.
Generated Crocs.
Who doesn't like Crocs? Everybody loves Crocs.
Brian Chambers is dead to me now.
All over.
Dead to me.
Crocs are the way forward. That's all there is to it.
He is dead to me now. Honestly, unbelievable.
See, look, even chat, they love Crocs. The
Croc Flymo, Crocs suck, bum. No, there you go. There you go, Miz.
He loves that. That's what that means. That's code for I absolutely love Crocs.
Oh, God. Right, because we could be here for about another 30 days talking about Crocs being terrible. So inside Star Citizen, we had a couple nice little tidbits, actually. There's some really nice little things. So we had some nice lighting option improvements, which let me just pull up. I'll bring up a couple of the video clips so we can kind of go through a few of them. Haven't done this for a while. It's weird doing this because I haven't had to do this for 3 weeks.
We've had nothing to
like,
show for ages.
It's like, what's going on? So I'll just bring up a couple videos. We got them all here from little highlights and stuff. Thank you, Board Gamer. I didn't copy these from your channel.
It's all right, you copied them from someone else.
You copied them from Star Citizen. Huh? Surprise.
That dude is loud, by the way, when he's drunk.
When he's drunk, he is loud. He's funny, though.
All right. Oh, who, Board?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So they've added the what I call the ET effect. Which is pretty cool.
What is that ship land?
That's a Catherall.
Really?
That's a Jean ship. Yeah, that's just the Jean ship landing. Look, it's got the engine. It's nothing mysterious. It's just the scout ship.
It's a new UFO.
It's not.
I only see this cylindrical thing. Maybe it's see-through, not really an engine.
There was, they had a.
Really tell.
You can't. No, I can tell straight away. That is lit. That's the Catherall. Honestly, that's the Catherall. That there. That's it. Because it all closes in on itself and then it kind of lands. And now, unless there's something missing, which I don't think there is. Yeah. Unless they finished its big brother, the Santa Coin, they didn't tell us. Or there's another. They've got a new ship coming out from the Jean with a similar sort of styling. It's possible. I mean, it is possible. They could have a Jean ship maybe with or Jean or Xion or whatever you want to call it. So they've improved that, and then there was another one, GPU particles. So I've got one here, another one here. Just continuing with the GPU particle lighting, which I thought was interesting because we were talking about the other day about Star Citizen pushing your graphics card. It was really interesting. We were literally talking about it on the podcast only the other week about, Star Citizen was supposed to be pushing graphics card. We were looking at Unreal Engine and all the new photorealistic stuff and just everything that's potentially coming out for consoles and how graphics are really improving and will continue to improve because that's what they do. They have all day graphics card companies and game companies and outside third-party companies. That's what they do all day long. That's their job, is to try and do what Star Citizen has a team doing. Same thing. So it's interesting to see them doing what they're doing, and then see what Star Citizen's trying to do within their MMO. And it's beautiful, you know. It is really, really beautiful. There's no denying it. And what's really cool is the fact that, you know, they're moving to GPU now rather than CPU, which obviously is great for my PC because now you're pushing the graphics card rather than just the CPU.
Put it all on the CPU.
Yeah, exactly. But it's amazing. You can see that I think the frames improvements were tremendous, supposedly, from what I could see.
Yeah.
You're getting 100 and... I mean, granted, this is a controlled environment, but...
Bot hinted out when I buggered off. And I think when he was on about with his chat with Luke Presley in the same... Brian said the same thing. They need to tighten up on the assets because everything they put in is just taking up so much power that they need to fix it until like with the server meshing. But even with the server meshing, it still needs to be efficient. So yeah, this is like showing that how much difference it makes when they can make it more efficient. Still look pretty.
Still looks pretty. I think that's the thing is like I've said this before in film industries and stuff like that. You have your money shot, which is your close up, but then also your distance shot. It can still be beautiful. It doesn't have to be as good as the money shot, as it were, because you want it to save resources and time, and that's ultimately what they probably want to do as well. Is mainly resources rather than time. To be fair, probably a little bit of time. I mean, at the end of the day, if you got your designers working at this shit for ages and ages, that's costing you a ton of money. So,
I mean. That's one of the things Brian did say on the interview. It's like it's efficiency, because you don't want to spend ages putting all these polys in and everything else, and then someone has to then later go back and cut them all back out again. So part of the tools that they're making is putting these in already with the efficient textures and things, because it makes more sense. So it kind of makes the whole process more efficient.
Yeah, I think that's where it comes back to our conversation we had the previous week where we're talking about game engines and all the rest of it. It's like, again, you do ask the question sometimes, is how much are they wasting actually of their time and resources doing all of that when there are specific third-party companies doing it for you effectively, and you wouldn't even have to have the team doing it. Now, we know the problem with Star Citizen and the third-party systems. At the end of the day, Rockstar and other games like that, they show the advantages of having it internally. You just got better control. So I get it. But we use them as just as a point of conversation.
We all know that Star Citizen does not have a good history of third-party.
No, absolutely no. That is the one thing, we have the conversation, but we know the reality. We use that. I use like the Unreal Engine and all the rest of it just to say, hey, look, Star Citizen benchmark is very high, but don't forget, people who love Star Citizen, don't keep your head stuck in Star Citizen. There are other games out there. There are other things doing some incredible things. So when you see a little bit of foliage in Star Citizen and you go crazy about how amazing it looks, just take a moment before you go posting all over Reddit how amazing Star Citizen is, because in truth, you could look a bit of a fool compared to other people. Could be like, hey, have you seen Death Stranding's new foliage? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. That kind of stuff. Right. And then they showed us the Vanguard variants, which was, again, I think just shows the tightness of this team.
I'm loving all the whole nooks and crannies and how steps are getting, like hiding compartments under the steps, making real efficient use of the ship. Because this is something we've said on some of the ships. It's so wasteful. And then on this one, it's looking really cool with the little compartments. Love the kind of Matrix style as the gun rack goes, pulls out, and here's my guns.
I'm just going to say,
gun rack and that, so.
This is going to be a major problem. People are going to be clipping into this shit, falling into this shit, dying in this shit.
You should leave it open. Yeah.
No, even with it on, because this is literally the walkway, right? This is the walkway up and down. Like I love it visually. I think it's great, and this is what I was saying about the Titan Avenger when they changed the door mechanic and stuff. I like all these quirky things, but we all know, like, you can't even get out of an Aurora door without dying. It's kind of anything that spins and moves is always a worry, and this is right on you. This is right on your walkway.
Going to be perfect.
It's going to be fine
once it happens. It's all going to be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Another great pair of stairs to break my legs in. Yeah, exactly.
I'll step in it when it's open, and then it'll close on my leg, and I'll be like,
yeah.
I mean, straight away.
It will be fine eventually, but we will have to go through the pain, and hopefully they don't get rid of it, because I do like the quirky, I do like the interesting things, and I love the the little bits of like that. And they look nice. They look nice. If you've been waiting a long time for your variants, I think you'll be pleased. It's about time the Vanguard did get its buff. I know a lot of people from other streams and things. I think we all say the same kind of thing, really. It's long overdue, and it's nice to see the skills that CIG are learning as they've gone along being now added to the ships that were a bit older, and really, really brought up to a standard now. So yeah, really, really pleased. I think this ship is going to look, well, the variants are going to be lovely, very useful. I like the animation. I think they got all the little quirky gun bits and all this stuff. It's going to be fascinating when they bring in, the physicalized inventory. It's going to be a lot of tears and a lot of soul over that. We talk about quantum jumping, people losing their armor and their gear.
Don't even go there. It's like I kind of miss the. I already miss the. It's quite funny with the JR talking about, but the lockers at the up by the doors, they were quite cool, being able to just go and press that and change your outfit into the spacesuit rather than mobiGlas panel armor. I think you could do both. You could kind of have set presets and you can go through your mobiGlas to choose what armor you want, but then have a thing where you can just use it and it puts that outfit on for you. But that's kind of another thing. But yeah, it's the inventory system and all that long. It's going to be painful for me remembering where I left something.
Yeah. Well, this is it. That's the other thing is like, I think you absolutely hit a nail like right there, Miz. Seriously, how are you going to know where shit is? Like, they don't even have it on the when you go to like Hurston or whatever, it doesn't even tell you where your fucking ship has been spawned at. You have to go to the bloody terminal to figure out. There's no little marker or indication. So you're going to have an accurate way of being able to tell you that your gun is on board your cutlass. And which cutlass you have, where, Hurston.
The location. It doesn't help when you've left it behind though.
Oh, can you? No.
To enter the database in most big last bit locations and yeah.
Can you imagine though? Can you imagine the box?
To remember, like in real life, I'm sorry, Viking, but I don't have 6 cars, and I have to remember where I parked them all, and I'm not on 5 planets.
Who's got all right, here, the way I look at it is this way. Who's got a storage lot? Has anyone got a storage lot here? I have my own personal storage lot. That's the best way I could describe this scenario. I have one storage lot. I cannot tell you. I can tell you roughly what's in there, but I couldn't tell you exactly what's in that storage lot. What is like, and like all my CDs, I couldn't tell you. Like, I mean, there's these CDs that's like years old. You know what I mean? Like years, and you can tell you every album. I'm always, it's like an Aladdin's cave. When you go in there and you start, all right, I got to get some more space, and you pull it through, and you're looking in it, and you go, oh my god, I haven't heard this CD for ages. Slam that in the CD player, when you go home. That brings back some memories. That's honestly like, and here's the thing, okay? Here's the ticket. You have to remember, go to Star Citizen's webpage and you tell me how well organized that shit is. Okay, you tell me how simple the UI is right now, how easy it is to tell you what component part you have. When you go into your HUD, your MFD, can you tell me what your power is, what your shields are, what your thingy is for 100 and something? No. They have to do a massive overhaul of their thing if they're going to bring in itemized, because it will be a shitstorm of mess. If they are going to have to figure out some clever, simple way of being able to track. They need some clever people on it. I'm just saying, they really do, because
the thing is,
their history
like
is bad.
Kind of joking, but at the same thing, it's not just remembering. Even if they did tell you where everything was, it's like, and I know someone argued last time, it was like, well, you just have to plan for your journey. I'm not being funny, but I've left the house and driven halfway to the supermarket before I've realised I'd left my wallet at home. So it's like, you can prepare, but there's a reason why we keep tapping our pockets every 5 minutes to make sure we've still got our phone and our wallet and our car keys, phone, wallet, car keys. And I do it even though I know it's there. I'll still do it for half an hour. Constantly keep doing it as I'm out all through the night. It's like, shit, is it still there? Yeah, it's still there.
Well, for instance, what about opening your star map and you click like a planet, Hurston, whatever, and this window pops up with just the entry, your ships being stored there at their location, Lorville or any other city that will be out there. But only for ships, like big parts. And when you get landed there, then you could finally see what kind of costumes or armor you have right there in your own little habitation. A bit like Elite Dangerous has, because it just worked. Like Elite Dangerous, you will just open up your map and you see the icons. Oh, I've got some ships stored there, some
Yeah.
ships stored there. Look at the modules you can buy. It will actually be displayed what's being equipped in your ship with just normal names and not like really cool fancy brand names and types. I don't know what it is. Yeah, just simplify it.
That's all right for ships, but what about when you want to find out where your Crocs are?
A very important thing.
Could we,
Or your
could we
beer.
open up the Moby glass and then you could literally
Crocs.
plot a destination to your Crocs? Right. I just plot a destination to my Crocs piece. Oh, yeah, they're on that planet over there on this
Yeah,
landing
why
pad.
not? Why not implement the database
Destination
into Mobile
Orange
Cloud?
Crocs.
Nice search engine in the Crocs, orange Crocs.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, and like, yeah, I mean, all this itemized stuff is going to be fascinating going forward when it comes to trophies. They spoke about trophies and kind of like items and things that are really rare or valuable, so you don't have multiple versions of them, you know. So that's going to be interesting. Like when you build your hab at the moment, because I think the habitat now you can like add things from what I've seen in 3.5. So you can have turtles and you can have like drugs. We got drugs, you know, all that kind of shit. You can do whatever you want inside. Obviously, your hab. You know, from what I can tell, which is kind of cool. But yeah, once things become physicalized, inventory wise, and these huge distances of travel and stuff, you are going to want to. I'm thinking about it. I'm going to need a mobile home. Seriously, like
This is why
I really
said
am going to have a mobile
all along
home.
That was the ship I
to
wanted,
move around.
a mobile home ship.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to. And it's going to have to
was
be
why I
built
said it all
like
along.
a massive tank.
You
They need to
all
have
laughed
like
at me.
it'll have to be
in
insane shield, something that takes like 50,000 ships to destroy. It's gonna be like a Banner Merchantman or something. Because part of me is kind of like, I'm just thinking to myself, is like, yeah, it's that, or like, I mean, do you think like, because if bases can be destroyed as well, like the only thing I can think of is like Hurston, or not Hurston, so ArtCorp, or kind of like in an apartment. Because I think I gotta have a safe place where I can put my shit, you know, that doesn't get destroyed, like a vault, you know, like some sort of like crazy person's vault with like that super cool stuff. Because like, I ain't losing my stuff. I don't want to lose my cool gear. You know what I mean? Like I want to have those trophies. Yeah, exactly. Welcome home, baby. Come check out my house. Boop, boop. Dude, scan everything to open the door straight down. You know,
So we'll just have a bag of holding for those who play D&D. It's fun.
Bag of
We'll
holding.
get one of those.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
jump in it and everything's in there. Magic.
hey, do you want a mahusive spelling? Because I can do this for you guys. If I saying it, I was
Mama Hoosiv.
I was all over WTFO the other day. Because he says something like he repeats himself over and over in his podcast. Like I caught him out the other day, he was saying it over and over again, but I've forgotten now what it was. But he says something. He says every time he goes, that being said, that was it. That being said, that is WTFO's. If you ever watch him when he's on his podcast Redacted, he says that's being said all the time. So I caught him out on it and I was doing shots. So every time he said it, I do a shot. Then I got very drunk very quickly.
That being said.
Yeah.
That being said, yeah, exactly. That's the one. Check it out next time. It's really funny.
Mahusiv
Okay.
is already a word, though. It's not made up.
Mahusiv. No,
Mahusiv
it's
is
legitimately. It's got to be in the dictionary. Next one, which is really cool. Like everyone's been waiting to see Cloud City. You know, they talked about it. We know about it. Orson, is that right? Orson, am I saying it right?
Full of trains. Train journey after train journey.
Okay. Do you know what? I think the solution to this is, and I put this on Spectrum actually. I think the biggest problem, honestly, they need to do the Minority Report. They need to have a vehicle that is attached to your apartment door where you have a choice. You can either choose to walk and maybe do some shopping and pick up some missions and do some other things and buy a newspaper, get a coffee, whatever it is, take the local train, whatever, to do that. Or you can go to your vehicle that's at the door, you can climb into it, and it will take you to wherever you need to go, like a taxi or an Uber, an automatic taxi or an Uber. And that will drive straight away and take you to the destination. Maybe it'll talk to you, show you a news report. You know, AI comes up and says, hey, Madness, how's it going? Where do you want to go today? Oh, I want to go to Habitat, you know, and make it so you can use VoIP as well. That would be insanely cool. Like if you could actually use VoIP to talk to the AI on board and say, take me to ArcCorp Station 2, or, you know, I need to load my ship or whatever. That would be insanely cool. That's how, for me, you could take VoIP to the next level, is if you could make it so you can recognize your voice and kind of like recognize that would be sick. I don't think they can do it, but it would be cool.
So funny and
Who
so
knows?
bad at the
They
same
are
time.
gonna
I'll be shouting at my pod.
They're gonna implement some sort of.
Why not? Yeah, why not? Like, I mean,
I want to
you
go
know.
to I want the pub. Did you say you want to go to the... No, the pub.
Johnny Cabs. Exactly, baby. Exactly. Total Recall. Johnny Cabs.
Yeah.
Hey, for your ride. But legit though, like honestly, like they do, in my opinion, I think it is tedious as fuck to be constantly having to run. Like I have a car in real life for this very reason. You know, I can step out of my house, I can get in my car, and I can go to my destination quickly. I could also walk to the shops if I want to, and so for me, I really feel when we spawn, please put an X85 on its side or something next to my spawn point, and it's automatic or whatever, a taxi, whatever. Put that in the game. It would make life, I think, so much easier for people on these systems. I wouldn't have a heart attack every time I wake up and go, oh my God, I'm going to have to run. And it just would be great. It would be, and it would make it quicker and give you the option. That's what I'm saying. That's my other thing. Anyway, so for this, same deal. Like to get around, it would be cool to see, like, you know, the vehicles. You know, you could get in those 2-seater ship thingies that you saw in Cloud City, which they come down and in Star Wars. I don't know, something like that. Anything besides taking the train all the time.
Star Wars, the Old Republic had. It made me think of it because of the ArcCorp and that, but they had their. Oh shit, I can't remember the name of the city now. But basically, they had these 2-seater taxis that took you everywhere. And so they actually had the fly through not ArcCorp, but their version of it. And you could go through all the skyscrapers and everything else. Everyone's like, oh, ArcCorp's never. They had that in that game. And having those kind of ports more frequently and around the place would work probably better than a tram system and things like that. Now, maybe this is what we will get. I doubt it, but it would be nice if they had something like that.
Yeah. Habitation platforms. I mean, it looks like all the sci-fi stuff you ever saw as a kid and grew up and just wanted. You know what I mean? It's just like,
See, one of the things with this is like the whole having the train system and things like that. It's all very static, so it makes it feel slightly less lived in. Whereas with the, like, say, the transport that you were just talking about, and like I said, Star Wars: The Old Republic had, is that you would see it take off when somebody gets in it. So it would look much more lively if you start seeing players getting into, like, you don't control them, they take you where you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
But if you saw players actually using this transport and crossing over, and it would all be at different times and random and everything else, but you would still see it, and it would get into the little trade lanes. You could be flying along next to someone else that's in their little taxi taking them to a different port. It would look so cool. It really would would help make it feel much more lived in than just following static schedules all the time from the bus or the train or whatever.
Yeah, and I think all of that is probably planned. I think that they've clearly, when they spoke about server meshing, that's where I think that they want to try and produce that.
But I don't think we will, because again, this is like for me, I don't mind it breaking it, but for them, they want the realism, so they want the train to come in and then take off again. Whereas, obviously, in Star Wars, the taxi would appear. It's like going to a taxi rank and then it just pull off.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do it if they had, like, the taxi popped out of a box that was like the taxi rank, maybe. But yeah, you're probably not going to see it because you don't see the thing turning up. Which is, I think that's to me, sometimes I do feel like the whole realistic thing does take away some of that other features that you could have elsewhere. That's the problem.
The thing is that's realistic, but it's only realistic in a certain perspective. It's not the realistic is you have more choices than just that. Like I said, you have a car, you have a taxi, you have a train. You have walking. There's many. What we have now is we just have walking. We have a train. That's it. We have no other options available to us yet. So they, in my opinion, they need to, once just to get around the cities effectively, they need to bring them in. It needs to happen. And it would be just sick. It would just be cool to have like a single color painted X like a taxi, like in New York, or every like Orson uses a different has a custom taxi vehicle that's designed specifically to be the taxi vehicle, and Hurston has one. In my head, there's an opportunity there, and it just feels better. And like I said, I think a bit more crazy. Like I said, I think with the VoIP, I'd love to have the kind of intercom system. I'd love to have the NPC, the Johnny Cab, effectively, whatever you want to call it. This always felt sci-fi for me. To be honest, it's not that sci-fi nowadays because of like Tesla and all the crazy shit they're doing with automotive kind of cars and vehicles, and it's coming. It's absolutely coming in real life. It is coming in real life. We're going to have Tesla Johnny Cabs at some point, I'm sure. So, and I just, with Miz, I completely agree. I think it would break up the it would make it feel more realistic. You wouldn't have everything moving at the same, those GIFs or whatever you want to call them, moving at the same time and pretend. It would be much more realistic. It would be much more dynamic. It would be much more granular, but much more, everything they talk about, the Star Citizen devs use those fancy words that I've just repeated, when I have no idea what they're saying. All that stuff. So yeah, that was awesome. And then I think, what did I make any notes? Oh yeah, we talked about the telemetry earlier on in the podcast. I think good job, dude, for doing that job. But I would love to see Star Citizen give us way more detail on player count, where players are playing from. I want to know that. I want to know what are peak times. I want to know, because like if you're doing Star Marine, for example, I want to know. I can roughly know, but if I can see a good graph that says Star Marine is really popular at this time of the zone, and because we're struggling to find players, that would be really good, because then I know when to play. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to schedule to make sure I play then Arena Commander, because that's when everyone seems to be playing Arena Commander. All the people that enjoy it are playing it at this time zone, whereas my time zone, there's fucking nobody, so I'll go do something else. It would be, maybe they don't want to do that because that would be worse, but I don't know. In my head, I think it'd be useful. That's what I'm saying. I think it'd be useful. Yeah, 2 other players, exactly. Yeah, which I hear Star Marine's better.
I played against myself and still lost.
Okay, so, and then Crusader. Yeah, so that was it. That was ISC. So the new Inside Star Citizen.
Get
good.
Right inside it.
I mean, it was 15 minutes? I think it was 15 to yeah. I would say again,
I must admit, the first thing I did, and I was talking to someone else that did exactly the same. They pressed play, saw it as 30 minutes, and went, oh, and they just paused it and walked off. Like, Jesus, just 13 minutes again. It's no different.
Yeah, that was. I was I liked the more casual Wingman's Hangar element behind the scenes, like kind of like not so like a newscasting kind of thing. I felt that got a little bit
not
fake.
My thing.
I kind of moaned a lot about them doing the whole, not the newscasting thing, I didn't mind so much, but that whole face cam thing and everything else. So this was definitely a lot better, more casual, although they still did have a really weird, was it one of the devs where he was talking on his computer, it's like, yes, this is look over his shoulder. Look, it's like the hair product shampoo advert. And today we're going to be doing this. It's like, come on. And it's funny because I was talking to Brian and one of the German devs on the Friday at Britizencon, and he's saying how they've got a lot of shy developers in their studio, and at the end of the day, and like I said, and this is why I do argue against that bad camera work, in my opinion, because it's like these are just developers. They didn't sign a contract when they came on the game. They didn't say, "Oh yes, we're gonna develop a game and we're going to be a YouTube star or whatever the hell it is." They just came on and they're like, they don't want to show their stuff off. Not the one they want to show their stuff off. They don't want to necessarily be on the camera. It's not their comfortability, and then. You just have to look at the Tonk guy, Brian's hair, and all that sort of thing. People jump on like crazy when someone's got a nervous twitch or say the same thing, and it can be quite difficult, and it's hard to ignore those those kind of comments. And like Brian was saying, yeah, he goes, there's some people who would love to put on there, and he just can't get them to do it for anything. He said they'll show the stuff off.
Yeah.
That they'll even be on camera if they didn't have to talk. He said, but they just don't want to be on there. And I think that's a shame.
Yeah.
But I think those sort of camera angles really don't help. It's like when they've got to sit there and pose and look over their shoulder, or it goes FaceTime like this close up with the hate, and then people are crying for 4K HD video recordings. It's like, I don't even want to see my face that close up, let alone everybody
every
else.
spot,
Like,
every pimple, every badly shaven day.
When you're watching TV, everyone goes, "Oh, you've got to have HD." It's like, no, I don't want to see my newscaster with their fucking pimples out on their. Anyway,
If they're getting paid extra, then that's different. I mean, again, I've always said
extra to come on the camera. They're getting paid to develop the game.
I've often felt that they should actually. They should, because if they're getting, like, I've often felt if you've come on ATV in your own personal time, like, at the end of the day, we pay a subscription for the show. Okay,
but I don't think they're coming on personal time.
No, well, some of them work late and they're doing extra hours or whatever. But what I'm saying is if there was a little incentive there, then maybe we might get a few more, like a little thing, a little say.
I don't
think.
I don't think it's the incentive. I just think they don't.
Help.
They don't want to be on camera. That's not their thing. They don't. Computer players and nerds and game developers aren't exactly known for being extroverts who want to. They're not all like Disco Lando. That's what I said. Some, and they do go on the camera.
They're the ones that are going to get rich, baby, with all the extra money.
I mean, even this whole getting the developers and then all wanting their signature is a totally new experience. For even in a lot of games now, it's more common, but it's certainly a lot. It's not really normal. It's maybe becoming more with these new early access and more open development. But before, when you wouldn't know who these people were working on shit, and then now it's like you want their signature, and it's like. What? You want the signature?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the rise of the all kind of, all the cons that we talk about, like the conventions and stuff, like the E3, all the sports, all the people that come on to present, the new consoles or whatever. They become legends and heroes when they produce games that we kind of go down and go, that game was amazing. Like, Bethesda and all those guys and stuff. Like, they're kind of held up as kind of heroes, because you played some of their amazing games. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's like, I get that. They sometimes
usually that's pride the top of the management, of the company, not the devs that are working their asses off.
True. You're right. Yeah. No,
because
it's true.
Becoming the new artist right now.
Like Jay Lee, because Jay Lee comes on camera a lot, so we all know who Jay Lee is. But I'm sure he's not the only person there. There's probably quite a few other guys who probably seen him sat at his desk. There's at least a couple of other people there, and they're probably sat there going, "This fucking clown! We did all the work, and he's taking all the credit. Like, seriously, and all these people love him. Like, I should be. He's crap." But it's like, but no. If to be fair, if they were like that, they would be on. They would be on the show. He's like, who's this fucking Jay Lee think he is? But I could actually see that. I know it sounds silly, but it could create animosity between team members as well. There is a risk of that when you have that type of kind of thing going on, and if people seem to be seeing this to getting, maybe what's the phrase, like in above their station. You know what I mean? Like if you are seeing, like Brian Chambers, for example, okay, he's fairly high up, but let's just say, he's become a big celebrity. He was out and about for a long time, and then all of a sudden he just disappeared. And we all went, where have you gone? Yeah, you did. And you do kind of wonder. Yeah, it's like he's kind of become, hey, you're not allowed to become too popular because this is my show, says Chris Roberts. I'm going to put you in Antarctica for a couple of months. You're not allowed to do anything because you're getting a little bit too big. Yeah, who knows? But I love all this stuff. I mean, I talk about this stuff a lot because I think it's, I can't talk about devs too much because I'm not a developer. I've not really, made a game, and I talk a few things and what I feel and stuff. But the one thing that is consistent in business around the world, the one thing that never changes is people. People are the same in whatever industry you're in. People's desires, passions, loves, hates, all that shit, they are the same. Get on with people, don't get on with people. Egos, all the rest of it. That shit is exactly the same in any business you work in. And I love watching Star Citizen. We get to see some of that, and I always like, how is this person, or how do you think this is having an effect on somebody, or how is this person's ego maybe being affected because this person is more popular, and how does that, it's fascinating. You don't normally see this shit. It's pretty cool. Anyway, sorry. Right, we got a good question actually. Angel, your name makes me chuckle. Because it sounds like an angel that shat itself to me, but it's not. I know it's not, but it's just it says Angel Shatton Star Citizen. It makes me chuckle.
Is it actually pronounced Angel, or
it is Angel? I believe it's Angel. I call him Angel.
Yeah,
Engel
Schatten.
Engelbert.
I just call him Angel because he's an angel, or she. I'm thinking it's a guy. Mostly a sausage party in Star Citizen. Although more women are streaming. Have you noticed this, guys? There's more women have suddenly appeared on the Star Citizen streaming sections.
Really? Good.
Yeah, it's good. I'm pleased. I'm like, yes.
Awesome. We may get some on the podcast.
Yeah. I hope so. They might. No, with me on. Maybe when I'm not around, they'll be allowed. They'll get on. I think I offend them too much.
Make sure you're away.
I'll be like, oh, don't start. How to get banned in 5 seconds. Did you like my tips this morning? My streaming tips video that I put on Twitter.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Go check it out if you haven't checked it out. If you haven't checked it out, check it out, guys. On my Twitter account. It's the best. The best.
I could actually believe that you did 50 takes on it as well.
I did loads. I couldn't get it to work. Every time I did, I fucked it up at the end, or I did something. I just couldn't get it right. It was too long. It was terrible. Terrible. I should have recorded every one and put them together for a video, and then put them on a video, and then showed you me cocking up every single time. It would have been hilarious.
It's funny. I watched one video today, and someone literally kept fucking up. I think it was a tutorial for something. And they would say, my name is, and today I'm going to teach you about, and then he'd like forget, and then he'd do it again. Instead of editing off of his video, he kind of forgot. So there's about 4 attempts. He keeps starting again. There's like 4 attempts saying, hello, my name is. I'm like, dude, you kind of forgot to edit that video after.
Dude, I did the best one. I did the best one. It was my top tips. I did 3 brilliantly. And then I went to the 4th one, and then it was like, oh shit, I can't remember what the 4th one was, and I ruined it. And then I couldn't remember what I said for the previous 3, so then it was just at that point, that's when I gave up, because I couldn't remember what I said perfectly before. I was like, oh, this shit, I'm done. That's why YouTube's great, because you can trim and edit, but on Twitter, this new Twitter thing is a nightmare. Anyway, so Angel asks, Angel, I've destroyed your name, I apologize, but Angel asks, he says, what do you think the VIP event announcement will be?
An Aegis ship?
Probably.
When is the event? I can't remember now when the concierge thing is. We know.
Well, it's 250 whatever quid, dollars or euros or whatever a ticket. They're sold out. They're all gone. Well done.
24th of August. Okay.
And so yeah, what do you think is going to be? It's the Squadron 42 new concept ship. I mean, naturally you'd go, there's going to be a ship. It's going to be a concept.
It's going to be a concept ship. It's going to be another concept ship. Yeah.
As long as it's going to be a spaceship. These guys are all people with lots of money to burn. It's an opportunity to capture them and to say, guess what, guys? Monocle. You can have a very special...
How many tickets were there available for that?
Angel said, I don't know.
They're literally going to go, we've got guaranteed 250 sales of this new concept ship if we plug it here today. Look, guys, you get to all be first, and because you're here, you get a special skin.
Yeah, they will. I wouldn't be surprised if they got a special skin or like a special something or something to go with it. And at the end of the day, they're whale accounts. That's you're pandering, catering, whatever you want to call it, to them. And
gonna be the 3rd special Super Hornet. Watch me.
I've got a CCU for the Heartseeker.
So not salty about that at all.
The only reason people have been telling me to do it is just purely for the components, to strip the components off it because they're pretty good. That is it. It's kind of a sad state of affairs. It's a shame.
Nice ship.
But I want a Super Hornet in my fleet. If I'm a combat pilot, I do think with armor and stuff, it's still sensible to have a Super Hornet or a Hornet in your fleet. It still thinks
They
it's good.
should just give it the same loadout as the Heart Seeker.
Which one, the Super Hornet?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
I
should just
don't
made it
care
a
about
skin
the
that's
skin.
different. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, again, they have to. The problem is they've kind of created this whole system where they do changes to loadouts to justify what they call. Is it a variant? Is that what they call them? Variants.
Yeah.
They created that whole scenario, so they just keep rolling with it. Whereas I agree, like part of me is kind of like, you could just do the skins, guys, and sell the skins like you've done. But then they won't make as much money. That's the problem, because people won't pay 250 quid just for a skin. Maybe they'll pay.
But they won't get the bulk salty.
Maybe they try. Yeah, I know. I agree. Would they sell 250 for just a skin? Would you pay $250 for just a skin Super Hornet?
You wouldn't pay
No
for a
way.
skin. No, you wouldn't pay for a skin, but then people that didn't own a Super Hornet may have bought it.
Yeah, I mean, you get the LTI on it.
It's like a reason because the Super Hornet wasn't for sale. So it's like if they just stuck the Super Hornet for sale again, would that have raised more sales? It was like,
did with the
people
Emerald,
are moaning that
wasn't
we
it?
said that we shouldn't do any more of those because we told them that we're not going to. So let's change it slightly so that we can.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, well, for sure.
Did we answer the question?
I think Angel's talking about his name. Angel Shadow out of a book from a second WW bomber pilot from the Spitfire couldn't cover them anymore, and the Mustangs jumped in because the fuel tanks could support the bombers. Oh, I know all this stuff. That's why the team Angel Shadow is German. Just thank you. It's in chat as well for people in YouTube. There it is. That's the Angels information for the name. Thank you.
Nothing to do with angels.
Nothing to do with angels taking a poop. Hey, if I was in one of those Spitfires in that time, I might have pooped myself a few times. My goodness, those guys were brave. They were brave men and women. Right. Oh yes, questions. Oh yes, actually, hang on, forum. Interesting. So, we spoke about the first. But this is what I love. I love Reddit because Reddit has the best stuff. This is the first player experience.
And the worst. The worst.
First player experience.
Oh, no. One. Yeah. Cool.
That's awesome. I was watching Zero to Hero. I think it was from Astropub, from Twerk, I think was doing something similar. And Grey-Headed Gamer did it the other day when I was painting and I was watching him. And he spent so much money, he couldn't get his Aurora to do anything, and he was having problems when you stack up the missions. It seems things go wrong and you don't get the rewards, and so you're just spending money wasting. And it's like 17 minutes to go to ArtCorp in an Aurora. He said, wow. I mean, maybe is he wrong? Maybe he's wrong. Someone correct me. But he said 17 minutes.
Yeah, it's 20.
I was like, oh, is it 20? No, holy hell! Yeah. Oh my god! I was like. 7, and here's the other thing. And then I watched HC Vertigo, and he was commenting on the fact that they have made it so that all the things you need to buy are at ArtCorp. So if you're a new player, you have no choice. So you go do your missions or whatever it is, and if there's good enough missions in the area, it's okay. But like, could you
that's
imagine?
kind of what we got as a problem, though, isn't it? As we were talking about the game loops, it's the 17 minutes not necessarily an issue. If there was other stuff to do around Port Olisar, there's not anything else to do around Port Olisar. If you could do missions and build your ship up and maybe buy your...
Port Olisar?
Well, where we start is Port Olisar, isn't it? At the moment?
They start at Port... Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But they usually have missions,
want you to see ArtCorp.
No, but what I mean is if you want to travel, like, your first thing wouldn't necessarily be, let's go and travel to ArtCorp. Like, if you was a new player or if you starting this game off fresh... and you've only got a small ship and it is 17 minutes, so yeah, you can do it. But if you was in a proper finished game environment, you would have much more stuff to do around your starting location. Yeah. Like I've played games, you don't start in the main city, you start somewhere and it says, welcome to the game, new pilot. Go and deliver this package to the next station along. And you go and deliver the package to the next station along. And while you're there, you go, look, there's something shiny I can buy. And you go and buy a new hat and then you go and think, oh, now I've got this new hat, I can kill everybody in the verse, and then you go out and do a bit of combat and pew pew pew, and then once you do that, you get a little bit more money, and you go, oh, eventually I can now earn shit, and I can get a new ship, and then you buy your new ship, and then you go further away. Just like that.
Yeah, just
That's, how
like
that's literally how it's going to happen when Star Citizen go live. Shit, spoilers. I knew I was under NDA. I shouldn't have said that.
I have another brilliant video. So this one, I believe, is supposedly somebody with this is the crack team were waiting to deliver his ship, I think it was, or something, like NPCs or something. And this was what was waiting for him in the hangar.
What's the left corner doing?
This is brilliant. I love this one down here. This one like literally reminded me of like a guy. Like there was this guy, obviously had mental problems in the town that I grew up in, and he thought he was a truck. And so he would run. He was the fittest guy you've ever met in your life. And he would run around all the roads, dangerous as hell. He got hit by cars all the time. He'd run around and he'd like do hand signals and then run around, drive, pretending to drive. This literally reminded me of this person. The way that they're like changing gears. It's just so
It
funny.
looks like a baby getting his diaper changed.
To me, it looks like a drunken night out. It's like you've gone there and they've just got like works night out. Oh my god, it's so good. Just like drunk and on their backs. It's like, well,
It's
you want to
just
ship
great.
me? Go get it yourself, you fucking
I
lazy
love it.
bastards. Ooh.
I just love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, this just to try and
But
cover up.
I mean,
This
the
was
Aurora killing
dope
you.
as
Going back to the other blokes is the Aurora's been killing me since day one. That's nothing. I've had it as a noob. It's nothing new.
The Mustang was clipping lots of people's heads for a very long time. People getting stuck in and out of that thing, that's for sure. The Mustang and all the starships were brutal. Absolutely brutal for people.
I mean,
But that's what I mean.
I renamed my Aurora Christine because of
That's a good name. That is a good name for the. That's a great. That's a great
I
name.
made me a poster actually. There you go. You can
That's-
see it on my background.
Oh yeah,
Christine, yes, that is sick. That's
anyone who
perfect.
you know Stephen King.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's literally that's like from 2 years ago when I was playing.
That is
with my
awesome.
Aurora. So yeah, it's
That's
happened
awesome.
to me so much. I remember devs coming on my stream going, "I didn't even know the Aurora's doing that to people. It's never happened to anybody else." I'm like, "Yeah, mine just doesn't like me."
Well,
if I talk about any other ship, it kills
turn it to
me.
She's gone rogue for everyone. She's eating that door is eating everyone at the moment, from what I can see. If you're not careful, and you go out the door too quick, it will trap you and kill you.
I'm gonna call my my freelancer Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet.
Tradition going, you know.
Okay, I have a question for you, Bok and Miz.
Yeah.
When the video catches up for you guys on your stream,
Mm-hmm.
what is that ship? Is this a Photoshop ship? Is this a Photoshop? Because, like, this looks absolutely incredible with the ice and stuff. I was like, is
The
this
windows
real?
Look way too clear. They're not scratched.
I was like,
It's
this
not
is
a
dirty,
Fantastic.
so
this is a caterpillar. This is a derelict ship supposedly, or some sort of spaceship or whatever. Like, just that someone took a picture of it on Reddit, and it has like the ice crystals. I was like, where is this? I need to
Could be the
find this.
Caterpillar
This is
cockpit, yeah.
cool looking. I mean, I don't know, just looks awesome, and I just thought it was awesome. Like I see images, sometimes I see images and stuff, but there was just something really haunting
got the,
and special about it.
The Drake kind of look to it. So yeah, I would say.
yeah.
Okay. It looked wicked anyway. Whoever did it, if it was not real and they photoshopped it, or if it's it looks glorious. But they said it was a wreck. It was a wreck somewhere in the game. So I was like, oh, I want to go find that wreck because that just looks tremendous. And I didn't even know what this. I was like, what is? Again, this is the thing. Is like they've talked about like Easter eggs and like when you suddenly break out of quantum, there's like asteroids all around you and all sorts of stuff. So I sometimes wonder if there's crazy cool
Well,
things to
maybe
be
we
seen.
need to play the game a bit.
We need to play the. I'm holding my hand up.
I
gonna
need
go play this
someone.
game.
So anyone in chat that's watching, or if anyone watching on YouTube and they're using a HOTAS, please send me your files so I don't have to do it.
Yeah, I'm so bored of that. That's the biggest thing at the moment. I'm the same.
So,
I'm
shit, there's always what stops
so
me going
bored.
back into the game for ages. It's like
Yeah.
setting up my fucking key bindings.
Yeah. I've come to
it.
I'm the same. I've come to that same conclusion. Like, I actually realized, I was thinking about it the other day, I was like, what is the reasons why you're not playing 3.5? Aim assist, hate the concept. I'm kind of like doing like a little picket fence stand going, I will not play your game because your aim assist sucks. But now I'm kind of got to the point where I'm like, no, I love Star Citizen. The protest is over.
Yeah.
We've done our piece. It's finished. Let's move on. And now I want to get into it. And then, but then I'm going, oh, but I got to do my keep bindings. It's going to take me an hour, and I'm not really good with computers. And it takes me, I got to replug in things and unplug things. And,
Only an hour.
oh, probably more than that, knowing me. Like,
It took me a month.
Yeah, it took me ages it's going to take me ages probably. So anyway, and because I don't even know how the flight model works anymore to a point. So I have to now remember, I'm going to have to go in, learn what everything means, make some notes, and then make the changes.
Import them because everything changed with 3.5.
Yeah, it's all
controls aren't
changed.
The same. The key bindings are different. So I tried playing the game with my controls, and it was all the buttons were doing weird shit. So,
yeah, advanced key bindings gone now. There's no advanced key bindings anymore. It's just key binding, whatever the basic one is, book standard. There's no longer advanced anymore. It's completely gone.
What do you mean no longer advanced anymore?
There's no advanced keyboards
there is,
anymore.
I think.
There is.
There is.
There
Just to go back to that picture you showed a minute ago, some people were saying
There
it's a
is no
Caterpillar viewing
advanced
deck.
key bindings. There isn't. There is. They when did they bring advanced key bindings back?
Just-
When? It's
but-
never left. It's never left.
You've just got to select it.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's gone.
select.
Right, I'm starting up.
Right, guys in chat, yes, thank you for that. It is
I'm
definitely
starting it up.
the viewing deck.
I need to see
It's
this.
the viewing deck. Don't, because your computer can't handle it.
No,
The
different.
viewing deck from the
Dual
Caterpillar.
PC, baby. Dual PC. It's all good. I have to start it up. I am. There's no advanced key bindings.
You're
There is.
blind.
There is.
It's okay. We are going to test this. Madison will admit he's wrong live on stream for everybody. No problem.
Fuck me. Hang on, everybody record it. Get ready with the highlight buttons.
Get your
Get
clips ready. I'm busting in, boys. I'm busting in.
I want as many people as possible to clip it.
Hey, this could backfire because I got nothing to lose. I don't care. You guys are the ones who are
On the
clever.
backfire.
Oh, look at the confidence. The confidence in Bok right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you
I
saying
spent
advanced key
ages
bindings?
in the advanced key binding.
There's no advanced key bindings for keyboard and mouse.
Always trying to change it a little, but there still is advanced key bindings for mouse and keyboard.
Okay, here we go. Right, okay. So I'm in the options menu. Here we go. So I go to key bindings. Oh, fuck, there is advanced key bindings. Oh, my God.
It's literally where it always was. Advanced key binding.
Oh, no, but
Yeah.
no, hang on.
We've just seen it.
Yeah, you can't hide it.
Where's the normal one, though? Where was the normal one?
Oh, now we lost the normal one.
Oh, there's no normal key bindings. Sorry, folks, there's no normal
Hang
key
on,
bindings.
hang on. Wasn't there
Um,
a normal key bindings as well? Shut up, Phantom. Hang on, but wasn't there a normal one where they had none of this other information, like all these, like where's J, L, K, and all this? I'm just checking. I'm admitting.
can narrow
There
it
is
down,
advanced
is that what you mean?
controls. Advanced
Narrow it
controls.
down. Do you mean that?
No, like before. Okay. Just I admit there's an advanced key bindings button there. Okay, fine. But when you first, there used to be two settings to this. You would have the normal one.
Click on the flight button.
Yeah. You can narrow
No.
it down with flight. And
No.
EVA, walking.
No.
No,
I
click
swear
advanced and click
To
on-
God, I swear to God, there was default and advanced. There was two buttons down here.
Nothing changed.
Normal and advanced. It had. Now it's just flight and on foot. Thank you. Okay, so thank you, Vikings. So there was something here, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there was basic and that's gone, and advanced and that's gone. So now, okay. So they have. All right. I admit, advanced keys is here. They just confuse shit because they changed it. This is the shit I'm talking about. I was wrong. I will take it because I'm able to be wrong because I'm always wrong. So it's fine. No problem. Cool.
Married, of course, he's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm used to being wrong. It's fine. I think that was a draw personally because clearly they changed a few things to confuse things. Do you know what I mean? Let's be honest. Let's just be honest. They changed things up. I'm actually I wasn't wrong. I was 100% right.
No, you weren't.
I wasn't. I was so fucking wrong. Right, we move on to game breaking news, guys. Actually, this was huge. This one was massive. Like I didn't realize when I have you guys experienced this, because I didn't know that this was a thing. So supposedly this breaks games. So when you go into this location, you try to get a beer, you're unable to get a beer. I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but I think this is game breaking right now. They need to make sure we can get beers in game as quickly as possible.
Yeah. 100% refund.
Refund. Get your money back.
I want all my thousands of pounds back. I have no words. Disappointed is an understatement.
This is like what I was saying earlier about like really dumb questions, like really dumb questions for like people that you were saying, like, you don't ask that question, that's really stupid. That's the kind of same thing. It's like, we all know you can't buy drinks. What are you talking about? Okay, so this is cool. Now this is new. Again, I'm finding out new things all the time. This is somebody with the EMP that's like 900 or whatever, 9,000 EMP or something crazy. I know. What is this? Like, chat. Like, is this like? Do you guys know what this is? Like, is this like
a temporal anomaly?
Like, I was expecting Arnold Schwarzenegger to come. I brought in chat. Arnie Schwarzenegger suddenly to appear at the end of this, and say, "I want your bikes, I want your clothes, I want your helmet, and I want your spaceship."
This is basically how it always ended for me when dogfighting in 263.
Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, that is nuts. It looks cool though. The MPs always look cool, but I was like, this guy supposedly, based on what I was reading in chat, you can pump this baby up to like an insane number or something. There's like a bug or a glitch or something, I don't know, but you can make it crazy strong.
He's literally making a jump gate right now.
Yeah.
And I think the thing we'll kind of end on, really, which I think is the big one, which we sort of touched on a little bit, which is server meshing. So Board Gamer released a video out an hour or two before I think we went live. There was at Britizencon, they were talking about server meshing. I think everyone is pretty excited. I think after, honestly, Britizencon, not many people maybe watched it, but I think it's really triggered a few things that have gone through ripples and waves through Star Citizen. There's been a post on April the 27th about it. From Clive Johnson, where he talks about it. Like I said, they talked about it at Britizencon. The bit that I took out of it is it will improve the ability to have players in. They talked about 200 players in a server. It means that the AI technology will be able to improve. At the moment, they're saying that the AI is not playing ball because of server meshing not being in yet, which surprises me. But again, I'm not a game developer, so I don't know. I just take their word for it. If that's what they say, that's what I assume is correct. And I think there was another thing that I can't quite remember, but I'll probably come to it when I remember more. It's to do with like the clicks and the smaller, the ability to do bigger fights. That was it. Like if you can do more multiple stuff,
Yeah.
You can have more people together in smaller servers next to each other. You could have it's the way to potentially have great big space battles, which is obviously what we've seen in the videos and adverts and stuff would be incredible. So it is a big deal. I mean, we knew server meshing was a big deal. OCS was a big deal. Server meshing is clearly now
the biggest deal. Basically.
The biggest deal. Yeah. Okay.
Without it, we will never get the game that Chris anticipated and also anticipated.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what they were saying is like it's worrying when they said they can't put stuff in because it's full.
Yeah.
That worried me.
It's like it's like a little bit like, oh shit, does that mean we're ever gonna get server meshing gonna be enough? But I'm hoping that obviously it will.
Actually, I feel pretty good about it.
Stop selling ships then, CRG, if you can't put them in the game.
What you don't want everything in the game at once.
This gives them the possibility to make it all working for the things that we have right now, and it will they will put full priority on the whole server meshing and on Spectrum. Trying to find it now. There's actually a thread That's
Yeah.
talking about a pre-step before the actual server meshing that will try to get, well, not the same thing going on, but so that they can actually expand it a bit more and keep it playable. Let me.
Server OCS. That's the one Christian said in chat.
Well, yeah, there is
The client side,
server
this
side
the
one,
server
which will
side.
help, but it's not. I don't think that changes how much stuff they can put in there, though. I think that they did say that was down to more to the meshing. I think.
It is
I don't
way above my pay grade in terms of intelligence level. I'm completely open to learning this side of stuff to a point. I've only got a certain amount of limited space in my brain that I can find space to put this in, and it keeps falling out of my head very quickly.
Basically, if it works, as long as it works, it's all.
Yeah. But the point for me is legit though. Like seriously, this is the dumbest. I always like to ask the dumb question, but it's like, if you're at the limit of what you can put in, then why the hell seriously are you making more spaceships? You're about to put in Carrick. You go to the 890 jump.
Well, no, it's not.
It's the first capital ship to jump in game.
That's irrelevant. Though. Making more ships doesn't change anything. You're only going to be flying one ship at a time. It's more a case of
so that's the problem.
Servers to be able to up and make it. What I'm more worried about. Where's the MMO side of things? If you can't get all these assets put in the game at the same time.
Okay.
Not rather than the type of ship.
The ships have
it's
tons.
more to do with.
But don't the ships have assets on them? Like, isn't the whole point? They're all like.
But you're not loading unless you mean don't make big ships, but just loading a
A90
ship
is huge.
Yeah, that's slightly different. Don't make bigger ships, because they will be difficult to do for sure. But it's more a case of loading everything all in at once and being able to have that so up in the player count. And I suppose if you look at it rather big ships that you're talking about rather than just ships, then yeah, because if you have a capital ship with a 100-man crew, you need a minimum of 100 people on that ship, and then plus the assets, plus anybody else that wants to attack it and everything else. So it's all pretty confusing, and I just hope that it's as powerful as they're hoping it's going to be, because obviously that's the crux of the game. It's no longer an MMO if they can't get these things to work. So the server meshing is a huge thing, or anything that goes towards tech to make it more of an MMO, to get more people on the server playing together, because that's what this game's all about. And so not having that would kill the MMO side of it. So yeah.
Trying to find the link, guys. Can't find it.
Angel's just saying, like, Amazon has started this new World Alpha invite, so server meshing can't be far. I don't know anything about that. I know you probably might do, but they're saying that they've heard rumors of 1,000 players in one server. Holy fuck!
And Joe Universe did something similar, didn't they? But it's
they did.
Not
they
just
didn't.
Count, kind of having all the assets to go together with it, but it's hopefully a positive thing for starters, and it's definitely a priority. It's definitely up there in terms of the multiplayer side of things, because it's not a multiplayer game if you're only ever playing with 40 people on a server. So
yeah, that's true. But then you can get a little bit more of the single player aspect, which gives you some more of the single player parts as well. That's the thing for me. That's the AI comes to, and if they're saying they need it for AI as well, then it's for me, it's clearly super important.
A lot of data, just as much data as a player, I suppose, and maybe more, because it has to program their thought process as well, and give them commands. Whereas we would just be doing something. They had actually got to know more shit. For a player, for an NPC.
It's like my poor computer, CPU usage, or running all these programs, poor thing. Before we go live. Now, the stress on the CPU. Okay. Well, I mean, I need to dig into it more. I mean, if any of you guys, like I say, are more expert on it and want to talk a bit more about server meshing, feel free. If anyone's got any questions, I don't know if questions are open or any questions, Miss?
It is open. I'll have a look. But regarding the server meshing, I'm guessing we will get a lot more info from CIG themselves when it comes more around to them, being able to
I hope so.
Implement it and stuff.
So.
I think we're going to hear more. So yeah.
I hope we get a special, because they used to do like, you know, those really nice long specials. Now, whether you like, you know, like they did an, you know, they did an OCS one, you know, they did like a kind of a good breakdown, and they did some graphs and visuals and stuff. And for people like me who have no real knowledge of what that was, I instantly, very quickly became, oh, that's what that does. Oh, okay, now I get it. Object container, I get it. Boxes like, you know, Russian dolls and shit. You know, I really benefit. I mean, I really benefited from those kind of like in-depth little videos. You know, I enjoyed them to a point. Obviously, they were, you know, a bit like paint drying sometimes, but I would sit there and I'd go, okay, no, I don't know this. I want to know a little bit of it and take a little bit away from it, you know? And so I want a bit more of that. So hopefully they'll do that for server meshing. And I'll do a little bit of research on this Amazon New World Alpha thing. And I think on Redacted, WTFO was talking about something like some sort of ability to go online around the world as well. It was really interesting. He said it very, very quickly. So I couldn't keep up with what he was saying, but there's like the ability to get on the internet basically anywhere in the world or something, which is like, I was like, oh, please, that sounds amazing. Like, and get really good. That's something not to do with server meshing. It's something else.
To do with these satellites and getting internet to places and things. Yeah, I've heard a little bit about that, but yeah.
I was like, oh wow, that sounds amazing for like when I'm in Vietnam. It's just awful.
Yeah,
just awful. Okay. Anyone else for on server meshing? Anything else?
I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, as Maya says, praise Elon.
Praise indeed. Yeah. Definitely. Very, very cool stuff. If there's any questions at all, feel free. We've obviously had one from Angels already. If anyone's got anything else they want to ask us or ask these guys questions.
One was about the Amazon World thing, which we don't know too much about. We need to read up on.
Yeah,
so we can have a look at that. And
next week. We'll come back next week.
Yeah. And another one from Angel says, do you guys think the Warden weapons loadout should be changed? You can answer that. I'm not very good with
yes. Yeah, probably. I mean, again, I did kind of say earlier that I'm not really a huge fan of them kind of doing meta builds for builds and stuff, because at the end of the day, we really should be playing in a game. We should be buying the parts ourselves, says the person that bought an 85X and other ship so that he didn't have to do it, but because I'm lazy. But and also because the reason I did that is because ships blow up too easily. The game's too broken, so it's a pain in the ass for me. You know, that's the reason why I did that. I like the ease of it for the time being. But yeah, the short answer, yes, I think it should do. I think it needs to be improved across the board, though. They have tons of balancing to do on weapons across the board as well. You know, there's not enough variety, in my opinion, still with weapons. You know, we need to get armor in. There's loads. So I'm hoping by the end of the year, this year, it'll be fascinating to see if they can stay on focus with the flight model, with all the component parts, with the weapons. Stay focused. Don't do me, which is get distracted, like, and go and do other things. Just stay focused. And hopefully, because it's Squadron 42 coming out next year, they will stay focused. They will get this right. And I will be super happy for next year.
All that we know.
I hate saying next year. It's only 4 months into a freaking 4 months into a fucking year. But I hate to say it when they literally have thrown everything out and starting again. So, you know, it's taken 7 years to get to 6 years or whatever it is to get to here. So they've thrown it all out, so hopefully they can half the time. It's like anything, you know, like anyone here made anything, the first time you make something it sucks, and then you have to make it again. Usually you can make it in half the time. I think they've had to make the flight model probably about 6 times now or whatever it is, so hopefully they can make it in record time in a couple of patches. It'll be perfect. Cool. Right.
Cool. And I think that's the end of the questions. We had one from Anton, which we did actually say at the start, but we can repeat it again. He said, did you guys enjoy Britizencon?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
I did. I would say you guys need to definitely figure out what's going on with your live streaming and your audio again. I don't know if you need to maybe find a consistent location, try and figure out, because I know you're searching. I don't know.
It was more just getting the feeds from the dev panel
Well, you had audio, you had feed issues. The NDI thing was working really cool. Like I could see all of the dogfighting, and then all of a
NDI
sudden it
worked
didn't
really
work.
well on the dogfighting.
You need to
'cause
work
the
on your
network went down.
communication between your staff to say when the dogfighting is about to happen, because like you guys were standing there going, "When's the dogfight? The winner is."
Well, it all got completely tits up at the end. The network went down, so the NDI wasn't working. That we said it was supposed to be shown in the main room, then it wasn't shown in the main room. But yeah, there's a couple of little things that could. There was a couple of things that could have gone better with the tournament in terms of because it was using NDI, which was cool. They're all using OBS. So what they could have done is had a little name tag in the bottom corner of in OBS, and every person that sits down to set up the controllers just quickly put in their user handle, so that when we had the camera views, we would have also had who was who, because that was the problem. We was like, oh, and here's dogfight, and we didn't even know if those two screens were actually fighting each other.
Yeah.
So it's like that you could be showing switch between two people and don't actually know if they're the two that was in combat. So yeah, I think sticking a couple of name tags on it would help a lot. And if we didn't have issues that we had, we probably could have shown the dogfighting off a little bit better as well. But
you got to make sure that you have Moist Noodle's phone every year, it seems, to get it to get the internet to work. I don't know what that was like. What was that? Like, what did you have to do? You have to use his 3G again or something? I was curious about
that. His data. I don't know how much data he had, but it was basically using his phone data, 4G, for our stream alone, because the network had everything else connected to it, and it just was taking a dump. So yeah,
And that's the hardest part when you are getting that just a venue with a good internet connection.
mm-hmm.
I don't say they're non-existent, but it's hard to.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the. Yeah, I mean, I don't event organize. I know how much work goes into it. My heart breaks when I see things not working the way that people obviously want them to work. I mean, it really
one
does.
One of the things with Britizencon, obviously, it's fan run and fan organized. It does cost money, and same with all the tech stuff. These sort of events, if you're putting on that level of tech, it all costs money, and that's part of the issue. Is like raising enough funds to actually run Britizencon in the first place. So if anyone does want to go and donate, you can still go to Britizencon channel and click the donation button. It does help, but it's like, I mean, they had a huge shortfall last year. They had a shortfall this year as well. It's not.
No.
It needs
definitely donate,
which is that's the issue. And then there's also merch you can go and buy, which goes towards the funds as well. And it unfortunately it just is. I don't know if it's the UK. It probably is that people don't necessarily. I mean, it's partly because of people expecting Citizencon to be in the UK, but it's something about people in the UK who just do not want to get off their ass, get out their front door, and go to a meetup. Like, you get the French doing their Paris-verse, and they get like 400 to 500 people turn up. I think the Germans version didn't they have something like 400 or 500 people as well? If not more, I don't know. It was crazy numbers. And then we have all the devs. We have all the devs turn up, and a lot less people turn up.
Yeah.
And I think that's hindering the event a lot. It needs, it's great we have a good turnout, but it could be so much better. And I think that's a big part of the issue. We need, obviously this year it wasn't brilliant because the announcement was quite late to the venue, and there was a lot of problems trying to choose a venue. And unfortunately, I mean, if the Radisson wasn't such a pain in the arse, it would have been nice to have kept a consistent venue and have been a lot easier for us to deal with. But because of their tech issues and the internet issues and setup and things like that, it's just, we needed a decent venue. So yeah, it's difficult. It's very difficult. It's not an easy thing to run, and we do just need more people to go to it. And I do think it's increasing each year because people see how good it is, and how the community grows through it. It just needs that continued support, I think.
I think this year's probably, like I said, I think it's a blip. Honestly, it's a blip. I think there's quite a few people who are in my boat. honestly, I think Anton said it, you know, who are in the boat where they can potentially, you know, they got what, you know, you can think about it. A lot of older, you know, I hate to say it, Star Citizen does have an older group of people who've got wives, they've got kids, they've got responsibilities, they've got time, limited time, resources, whatever. And, you know, you to take effectively 3 days. Like for me, the biggest decision, the hardest part for me is just my weekend. I've got 3 days. I travel a lot. So for me, taking 3 days or 2 nights and whatever it is, 3 days is a big thing without my kids on the weekend and stuff. So it's tricky. You know, it has to be. And then when knowing that Britizencon, the fact, you know, the original, not the original, but the authentic one, blah blah, whatever you want to call it, is happening this year, or only this year. I had to make that choice, and I think quite a few other people probably in the similar sort of boat. But I'm hoping, the way I look at it is if we can get advertisement at Britizencon as well for Britizencon, potentially people come over. They might come over to the UK, come over to Manchester, enjoy it, and then, you know, you could piggyback. You know what I mean? There could be a piggyback effect on the top of that to say, hey, do you know what? This is not too bad. It's not that far away. You know, it's actually pretty cool, and the devs are right there. And I'm hoping next year, you know, you'll see an influx rather than a reduction.
Yeah. I mean, we had the French streamers, and they obviously help show it off to the French community. It's nice to kind of get international community involved as well. Sure. Viking says about, does think people lose interest over time? And I don't think it's a lack of interest in the event. I think it's if anything that's hurting it a little bit in the moment is the lack of interest in Star Citizen. I hate to say it, but the numbers and people watching Star Citizen and things have gone down. And when people take a break from it, they kind of forget about going to the events and stuff. I mean, hopefully with Squadron 42 being more in the forefront soon, or by next year, this will help the sort of support for the game a bit more as well, and bring people out more, I think. So. Yeah.
I think the thing for me is what you don't want to happen is, like, obviously, you know, if you find yourself in a situation where you take a huge hit financially this year, for whatever reason, if it's a big hit in financially for this year, you know, you don't want to then miss out next year because you took a big hit this year. You got, like I say, you need money, you donate, you put it out there, you tell people the community is very good. I would never want to see Britizencon go away because of financing and poor turnout. I would be screaming at the community to say, you guys are a bunch of idiots because you're potentially losing seriously. Very, very cool venue.
Is another way to go again. Some people just need to look at maybe a funding goal, or, you know, a way to do it again, I think.
Yeah, I think looking at also is like who you're targeting as well. There's one thing targeting potentially Star Citizen, but you could also think about, like, there's a lot of people maybe in the gaming community who don't know what Star Citizen is. You can also maybe try and target people to come along who never even know about Star Citizen. It's just a gaming convention, and say, you know, maybe there's a way of like expanding into other things. I know you guys have got some other people coming up and doing their shows, doing their trade things, which is pretty cool. I guess you got to focus on Star Citizen, but I don't know, like maybe tapping up, you know, Twitch, for example, much isn't being that effective because, like Ms. is saying, is that maybe the numbers have been dropping, or you know, like you say, maybe I'm trying to think of like huge British streamers who stream Star Citizen, like who are huge, you know, like a Regzilla. You know what I mean? We're talking, you know, 1,000, you know, 200 plus 300. I mean, Detox, you know, Myers on the front page and stuff, but it's still kind of like, it's not a consistent, massive person, I think, in Britain who's hitting huge numbers for Star Citizen that I can think of. People can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm happy to be corrected. But it's tough. It's tough. I feel your pain. No more FP for Meyer. Yeah, no more front page. Oh no. You know, it's tough. But I would never want to see it go away.
Disappointing if it goes.
Yeah, just because of like one bad year. You might just have to, if you get like into a repeat of it though, every time Citizencon's on, then you'd understand, wouldn't you? Where the problem is, maybe you need to take a pause for when Citizencon's on, or I don't know. I know we're talking shit.
Anyway,
okay. Yeah.
Britizencon. Go to it. Buy merch,
donate.
Whatever. Keep it happening.
Yes, definitely worth it. You get to see these clowns and myself eventually again. Should be fun.
And I think that's it.
That's it. Okay, cool. All right, fantastic. Thank you everyone for the follows. Thank you for the subscriptions or bits or whatever people have been doing. A lot of the alerts are off, or we can't hear them because we don't want to disrupt the stream. But thank you, it's greatly appreciated, and I hope you've enjoyed the show this evening. We do this every Monday, 9 o'clock UK time. That does change depending on whether it's summertime or winter